Raiders are fucking annoying, bro. Check.
I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
There's this damn civilian. Oh, he's up there.
Someone! You found a power key. Go slot it. You're a big help. That's a new power key. Place it now.
Just set this key real quick. Someone else say that guy.
Great! You know what to do with that key. Nimbus!
Get out of here.
You have my thanks.
Give me hit that box real quick. Damn it, I was gonna hit that.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
This guy's about to get to level 4. Game's over. He just conveniently knows exactly where we are.
Great. You know what to do with that key. Nimbus! Gotta get the hell out of here!
I don't know why he's destroying D. He doesn't need to destroy D. Just hurry up. Move on with our lives. We don't got time for this.
So, is that so, Raijin questions? What a shame, but very well then, because if I will need to go and crush the three of you in order to go and make my way inside, then so be it, as I had given you all a warning prior, and so I will hereby go and do what needs to be done in order for me to go and fulfill my mission, with Gravy responding, "What did he just go and say? How dare you go and speak to us with such a disrespectful tone? For who does this creature think he is by going as far as to talk to us like this?" With Poutine responding, "There is something very unsettling about that energy of his that I am sensing, for we mustn't go and take his bait, as I do fear that there is something more to this creature than what we are able to go and see on the surface." With Raijin responding, "Do not go and make the mistake of assuming that I will not go and do what it is that I need to in order to get on what it is that I am after, whether you are of demon descent or not. For I see through your hesitation, and if any of you truly want to try and test my resolve in assuming that I am simply bluffing, then I hereby welcome for either one of you to go and test your luck here against me, and I will go and prove to you on what exactly it was that I had meant by what I said, demons." But this, however, did not go over well with the other demons, in fact, because with Salsa being shown having to be the first among the three in making her way right towards Raijin was when Poutine went on to then quickly shout, "Wait, Salsa, don't attack him, for we don't exactly know as to what we are going up against here and having to go and face him." Foolish little worm, for you should have listened to your friends and stood where you were instead of having to seal your fate with me like this, Raijin says, as I can only go as far as to assure you that it most certainly won't end well for you either, with Salsa being shown having to then respond, "Oh yeah, well you don't scare me one bit, for you will come to respect this realm as you are in Mechikabura's domain now, imposter. As no one, and I mean no one, will ever dare to go and cross over into such a realm and disrespect Lord Mechikabura's name and live to go and talk about it, and so now burn! Burn beneath the weight of your arrogance and feel the wrath of Lord Mechikabura through the fires that dwell below," Salsa shouts. "And so now burn for your heresy and professing yourself as being above Mechikabura, as you will pay with your life beneath the weight of the fire that consumes you." But then, it was just upon with Raijin being shown having to reach on out through the fires in attempts of having to grab Salsa by the neck was when Raijin went on to then quickly respond, "Enough of this, you traitorous little vermin, for you will need to go and do far better than this if you hope to go and stand a chance against me, and as if attempting to go and burn me alive will go and do you any good, especially when the laws of fire along with its nature are within my specialty," Raijin says. "But tell me something, how long do you think that you can last out here against me before I go and decide to break your neck within the process of our battle? For I believe that it wouldn't be any longer than
Alright, we
30
have another match.
seconds,"
Should start in
to
2
which
minutes.
as both Poutine and Gravy were then shown having to make their way in was when Poutine then went on to quickly shout, "Oh, quickly, Gravy, we have no other choice than to go and join in so that we can ensure that nothing goes and happens to Salsa within this battle," as Gravy went on to then quickly shout, "Oh, hurry then, let's move around him so that we can catch him from each corner," with Poutine responding, "Yes." Then we will go and do just that, as we'll need to go and use as much force as we can dish out against him, and so on my signal we'll hurry and go and strike him at the same time and smash this beast with everything that we are made of before he can. But then, it was only just then within that very moment, as Raijin was shown having to swing Salsa's body around and having to use her as a means of being a weapon and having to smash her directly into gravy, was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue, "Foolish younglings, for despite with the three of you and having to hold the numbers advantage over me, just because you may outnumber me doesn't mean that you will win. And while I find your rebellion here against me to be quite the shameful one in having to go and throw your lives away for the sole purpose in having to defend your governing ruler Mechikabura, let this now go and serve as being a reminder to you all that once you go and decide to actively go and turn your backs against me, will it only be a decision that you will go and pay with your lives for, as there is no such thing as redemption towards those who go and defy."
Can you hear me? Flying Nimbus! Trunks, I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
These guys in their dollar store internet, man.
Flying Nimbus!
Dragonballthebreakers.
Someone save me! You be careful too, okay?
Civilians over there.
You found a power key. Go slot it.
Just don't destroy this area, man. Please don't destroy this area.
You have my thanks.
Not coming over here yet.
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Not a savior.
You see that?
That's a new power key. Place it now.
You're my savior.
I was gonna say that guy, but I'm not.
Thank you so much.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Oh man.
Great.
too, okay?
An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in. Hey, Kratos, you found another power key. Use it quick.
Holy hell.
Flying Nimbus!
I don't know if anyone's gonna save that guy either, but he's far. Pretty down player too.
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
If this guy dies out, there's only 4 of us left.
Flying Nimbus!
Stay calm.
Beautiful! Bleeding now. I owe you one. Bastard! Get it, fools! Jive!
By my throne. To which it was only from out of nowhere, with Raijin now being shown having to unleash a gigantic energy blast that went on to overtake Poutine completely, was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue. And while I sit at the head of the table as the one true God King and ruler of all life throughout the entire multiverse as it is, I will go as far as to ensure you all that no matter your race, even if you just so happen to be one of my own kind, to which those who refuse to bow will be eliminated from this world. For it's a shame that you had to go and turn your backs to me in place of worshipping your false idol in Mechikabura, Raijin continues, but alas, your blood will continue to be spilled until there is nothing more that remains within your bodies. As the terrified Gravy went on to then respond, what has he done? He completely destroyed Poutine without even breaking a sweat. sweat, but how? How was it that he was able to go and do that with such ease? And that power just now, as Poutine was right, for there appears to be something that is far more to this monster than even we went as far as to realize. As Raijin then went on to further turn his attention back towards Salza by then quickly responding, and now back to you, as while you were the first to go and take charge in directly going against my order and having to go and attack me first, allow for this moment to go and sink in and let my eyes be the last thing that you will ever come to see, traitorous demon scum. To which it was only seconds within that very moment as Raijin was then shown having to unleash energy beams from his eyes and having to penetrate Salsa right through the head, was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue. And then there was one, and with these two wretched traitors out of my way, all this now leaves us here is with you. For I hope that you are ready to experience pain the likes of which you have never experienced in your days before, Raijin says. And so unless you decide to go and bend the knee to me here and now, then you're next. As Gravy went on to then quickly respond, how dare you, as you will go on to pay with your life one way or another, and so even if this means that I will need to go and give everything that I have in order to ensure that you pay for snuffing the life out of Poutine and Salsa, then I vow to go and stake my own existence in having to do what is needed in order to destroy you for good. And so now this here is for my fellow demon warriors who were ambushed by your hatred towards your own kind, as I hope that you go and suffer just as much as you had made them suffer with this one, Raijin. And so now disappear within the voids. But then it was only casually enough with Raijin shown having to literally blow away Gravy's attack right back towards him, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond, oh please, spare me the efforts of such ridiculous attempts in trying to be what you hope results in my destruction, since I can already guarantee you here and now that such ridiculously feeble attacks such as this will not be what will end within your favor, demon. But it was only just as Gravy went as far as to catch his own attack before having to launch a brand new one from his other arm, was when Gravy went on to then quickly respond, for you may appear as though you hold the upper hand here against me for the time being, but one thing about us demons that I want you to go and know is that we will gladly go into our graves if it means upholding our loyalty to the master in which we turn out to serve under, Raijin. As I will not go on to cease my attacks against you until I know for a certainty that you are no longer breathing. And so now, whether you are the first and original god of our race of demons or not, turning against your own kind is an irredeemable act that is only punishable by destruction. And so now, while your very existence is a mistake that needs to be corrected, Gravy continues, let this go and be what does the job in becoming the cause to that very correction in having you pay for what you did to my friends, demon. To which it was only seconds after, with a gigantic explosion then being shown having to take place, was when Gravy then went on to quickly continue, oh, there we go now. Serves you right for doing what you just did and having you snuff Salza and Poutine's life just now. And so there is no physical way that you could have survived this without sustaining at least a bit of damage along the way, Gravy continues. And so that should have done the trick if it didn't at least go as far as to damage that creature directly. But is it possible that he may have found a way out in having to survive unscathed, Gravy went on to then further question, because if he did, then I will have no other choice than to go and call for Lord Mechikaburo and having to help deal with such an abomination. But wait, no, but how? It can't be, but he was just right here, and so now where did he go? Gravy went on to then further question, and moreover is how was that creature able to go and outmaneuver his way in bypassing both of my attacks like this, and only having to further do so without having to go and leave a trace of him left behind within the process.
Not just there in 2 minutes.
Surely I didn't go and miss miss now, did I? Because I know what I saw, and I know that I saw him go and take those blasts head on without him being shown having to move, and so just where did he go? But then, it was only just then from out of nowhere now behind Gravy, as Raijin went on to then slowly lean on down by having to go as far as to whisper within Gravy's ear, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond, "You should have been far more careful with how you decided to go about this situation with me, demon. Because while you should have known better than to go and try and attack me the way you all just did, for now it's going to be your turn to go and join your fellow servants within the grave." As Raijin meant serious business, because it was only surprisingly enough from out of nowhere within this very moment, as Raijin went on to impale Gravy from behind and having to sever him right through the heart, was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue, "Then since you had went and have decided to go and continue to stand in opposing me when you should have been smart enough to go and relinquish such desires in wanting to go and stand across from me, this is what you will go and get for ever daring to stand against my law, demon. Yes, for I can feel your heart struggling to keep its beat against my hand," Raijin continues, "as you were never anything more than a mindless hound leashed to a master who doesn't care whether you live or die, and yet you stood before me with such conviction and such a desperate and deluded belief that you could actually win. Well, did you, Raijin questions? For your loyalty to Mechikabura was your first mistake, as your belief that you
Flying Nimbus! It's Trunks. I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots. You found a power key. Go slot it.
You know, I'll set the key. It's kind of risky, but I'll do it.
Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick.
Way to go! The countdown to your doom just ticked down a bunch.
Flying Nimbus!
Way to go! The countdown to your doom just ticked down a bunch.
Welcome, thank you.
Sweet.
Great! You know what to do with that key. That's a new power key. Place it now.
I just have to find this A key next.
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
He has one more, then he gets his level 3. Seems like he's gonna try to kill that person and then get his level 3.
That kind of kick. Flying Nimbus!
One better save that guy. We need our level 3s, man.
If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
One gave up.
So, who wants to die next? Flying Nimbus!
Save that guy. You got him or not?
Where am I?
What a bunch of
Civilians in
wimps.
there.
Get up!
Still need to get my level 2.
Where am I? Thanks.
Flying Nimbus!
This is bad. Somebody's
Flying
down.
Nimbus!
Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Let's find this damn AQ. Power key radar. I have a dragon radar now.
Bastard! What a bunch of wimps.
It's pointless. Can't switch players right now. He didn't down me.
Hey, clean this mess up. I can't stand looking at it. I'll take over.
You were anything more than a disposable pawn was your second, with your third mistake being in thinking that even for a second that either one of you who stood in opposing me would have any sort of chance in actually being able to defeat me. And as this is what happens to those who dare and refuse to go and bend the knee, Demon Raijin continues upon being shown pulling his arm away. Then so do you think that Mechi Kaburo will mourn for you? Do you think that he will even remember you, Raijin questions? For it was as I had said, and as you were nothing more but a tool, and now you will go on and be forgotten, as not a trace of you will be left behind for anyone to even remember, Demon. But if you thought that this was going to be all that I would go on and do onto you for daring to challenge me, Raijin continues, then allow for me to go and leave you off with this, as I will hereby go and use you in setting the example from here on moving forward, in and further letting this serve as a reminder towards all those who wish to stand against me, that no matter what you claim for your descent to be, whether you are a god, a mortal, or even a demon alike, if you go and stand in the way of having me fulfill my destiny, then you will be torn apart within the process of challenging my authority. To which it was only seconds later within that very moment, as Raijin had gone as far as to now be shown leaning on down and grabbing onto and picking up Gravy's heart, was when Raijin then went on to continue, as you should have went and thought twice about your actions before you had decided to go and turn your backs on the throne the way you all did, and now look. And while I would go and ask you if this was all worth it, but you and I would both already know the answers to such questions anyways, for you should have went and known that this was going to go and happen, but since none of you were ready for what someone like myself was going to bring onto the battlefield upon having to go and engage against me, this was what you demons get for daring to defy my law and expect to go and live to talk about it, Raijin continues. But since the three of you are now finally out of my way, I can now go about my business in having to go and do on what it is that is needed, and especially now since there is no one who is left that will go and stand in the way of having me go and speak with Mechikabura in regards to the cubes that I seek. But before I go and do so, your beating hearts will be sacrificed within my name for me to go and devour, for I will not go on to stand to have anyone oppose my destiny, even if they just so happens to be demons as well, Raijin says, for these three demons would have served as being great additions to my army of warriors, but they instead had went and decided to stand against me in the name of standing loyal to Mechikabura, which was why this was ultimately needed if it meant in having to use them all and setting the examples in moving forward. But then, it was only just seconds later as Raijin was shown having to chew upon Gravy's heart as Mechikabura went as far as to make his presence known, was when Mechikabura went on to then respond, "What is all of this noise that I hear which is taking place out here, demons? What is the meaning behind why my palace is shaking? And why do I sense more than just your powers being present within my domain? Answer me, demons, as I will not go and ask you all again," as Raijin went on to then turn his head by responding, but of course, and right on time you are, Mechikabura, for you and I have a great many things to discuss," as Mechikabura went on to then continue, "Do I make myself clear enough for all of you to go and hear what it is that I am asking of you, or what? Gravy, salsa, poutine, answer me right now! What is the meaning behind all of this, and why is it that I am able to sense the presence of someone else who is there alongside with you? Because I never went and gave any of you the orders in having to bring uninvited guests before my kingdom without having to first inform me of such things. And so now why are none of you answering me, demons? For I demand for you all to go and do so right this moment or else, with Raijin responding, "And so you have finally decided to go and reveal yourself to me after having to lose all three of your own as a measure of their loyalty and having to perish in your name." How very typical of what it was that I have heard about you, but needless to say, you and I have much to discuss while I'm here, as you can make no mistake about the fact and rest assured that by the time our meeting here reaches its end, Raijin continues, and I will lay claim over that configuration cube one way or another, even if it means that I will need to go right through you in order for me to have it, demon. To which it was only just as Mechikabura had made his presence known by exiting his palace and having to address the overall situation happening down below, was when Mechikabura then went on to respond, "And just what exactly is the meaning of this? For who dares to go and cross over into my domain without my authorization? And more importantly is what exactly happened to my fellow demon warriors who were just right here? For where did you all just go? Wait a minute now, as I am no longer able to sense their life force other than just one of them," Mechikabura continues, "which only means they must have been destroyed while I was inside of my chamber. But how and by whom? Wait, is that that. Nah, but of course, Raijin went on to then quickly interrupt upon being shown having to eat Gravy's heart. And so there you finally are, Mechikabura, as I was starting to wonder on when you were going to go and show your face. But now that you are finally here, you and I have a few things that need to be addressed for the time being, Demon. And as I don't intend to go and waste my time with you here either, and so let's just get straight to the point then, shall we? With Mechikabura responding, Lord Raijin, you've been freed? But how? And that energy, what is this strange energy that I sense which is coming from you, Mechikabura questions? Or why is it that I am able to sense both a demonic and angelic energy that is flowing through you like this? And more importantly is, why are you even here? With Raijin responding, well, the story of my freedom should be the least of your worries for the time being, and as I didn't come here and having to go and explain my return to you here, Mechikabura, but I had rather came here on behalf of going as far as to go and claim what is rightfully mine, Demon. And as the first of our kind to go and be declared as king of the demons and the first among our race to be created, what I seek is what you have stolen, Raijin continues, which only goes as far as to explain as to why I'm here, for long ago while I was trapped within that wretched angelic prison which had restricted my activity from the outside world, and I had learned that you had went and found one of the 3 ancient configuration cubes during your attempted great takeover, and since I know that you have no common knowledge to my own in knowing how important these cubes are, Raijin continues, I am here to go and take it back from you, and as the primordial god of the demons here between us, my authority far supersedes yours, and as the prime authority figure among our kind, and I hereby ask and demand for you to go and hand the cube over to me right now, Mechikabura, with Mechikabura responding, the 3 ancient configuration cubes? And how exactly do you know that it was I who had went and found and laid claim to this relic while you have been locked away, Mechikabura questions? And more importantly is, why does this so-called cube matter to you so much that you went out of your way to come all the way here and slaughtering my henchmen to go and claim it? Just what kind of power do these so-called cubes that you look for actually contain here, Raijin? With Raijin responding, what these cubes are meant for is none of your concern, Demon, for I will simply go on to warn you once, so you best go and open your ears and listen very carefully to what it is that I'm about to go and tell you, Demon. And as the cosmic configuration cube that you hold is not meant to be carried by lesser beings such as yourself, Raijin continues, and as the oldest and most powerful demon god among you all, I command for you to go and relinquish it to me right now. Otherwise, you are to go and brace yourself for consequences that will go far beyond your imagination, Mechikabura. And as I look forward in having to go and collect all 3, and you are in possession of one of them, Raijin continues, and if that ultimately means that I must carry on and destroy you in order for me to go and claim it, then that's exactly what I will go and do. And so now hand over the cube, with Mechikabura responding, how dare you go and attempt to threaten my life whilst turning your back on me like this, Demon? As I can go and care less if you just so happen to predate my authority or not, because now that I can see on just how valuable these configuration cubes are, why should I just go and subject myself and simply having to hand it over to you when I myself can go and claim all 3 for myself instead, Raijin? And as I seem to like this plan a lot better than yours, with Raijin responding, foolish Demon, for you are dabbling with a power fragment of history that you cannot possibly hope to comprehend here, Mechikabura. And so you should go on to choose your next words very wisely here towards me, as you should understand that my wrath has no bounds, even if it means having to go and destroy my own kind, Raijin says. And so now surrender your position and hand over the cube, or prepare to witness a power that has shaped the very foundations of your entire existence, and along with all that you happen to just know about our history as demons, Mechikabura. Because if this ultimately means that I will need to go through you in order to lay claim and final finally get what I'm after, then I will go and do what I must in order for me to have it, Raijin says. So if you value what you consider to be your life, and if you truly wish to continue to maintain your position in being one of my very own who will serve me at my side, then you will go and bend the knee here and surrender the configuration cube over to me, or you will go on to suffer the same consequences that your former minions had just experienced here against me, Mechikabura, as I will not go and warn you again. And so now what exactly is your answer going to be? With Mechikabura responding, well, since I now see on what it is that you are after and why you are after it, for I should have known that this configuration cube held tremendous power, but even I didn't go on to grasp the full extent of its true potential. But now I find myself intrigued, Lord Raijin, for if you would go to such lengths to go this far in trying to go and claim it, Mechikabura continues, then perhaps instead of allowing for you to lay claim over such potential, what if I were to go and keep this cube for myself and declare myself as being the one true God who stood above all creation, and from that point going as far as to dictate the course of existence itself? Because instead of having you go and lay claim over all three cubes and going as far as to use it for yourself, I, on the other hand, believe that it would be best for me to go and seek such power out in putting you out of your misery as a result, in wiping away the old and making the way for the new. And so now what do you say? With Raijin responding, you are making a grave mistake by standing in your place to go and attempt to challenge me, Mechikabura, and so I say that if you are not willing to go and submit yourself over to my law and surrender the cube in which I seek, then I will go on to pry it from your cold dead hands if I must, especially if it means that I will go and need to do what I must in order to complete my mission by any means necessary. But then, it was only within that very moment as Mechikabura went as far as to dash towards Raijin by going as far as to make the first move, was when Mechikabura then went on to quickly respond, then if you truly wish to try and lay claim over such authority by challenging my own, then allow for me to go and show you on why you are no longer suited in sitting at the throne of power whilst attempting to go and challenge the modern generation of power, Raijin. For there can only ever be one true God King among our kind, and after learning of the details that you had given me on these so-called configuration cubes, Mechikabura continues, it'll be me who will go on to find and use their power in furthering my potential, and I'll make sure that there is no one, not even you, who will go on and stand in the way of having to see that through until the very end, Lord Raijin. But then, it was only as quickly as Mechikabura closed in, with Raijin being shown having to knock Mechikabura back towards the sky, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond, you delusional creature, for I can still see that after all these years of leaving you behind and having you take my place while I've been kept locked away, you are still nothing more than just a fragile little child, just as I once remembered you in having to be. For you have went and learned nothing since my original time as ruler, with Mechikabura responding, how dare you? Still just a child, huh? Well then allow for this child to go and show its elder on what it's truly made of, since the days of his original rule of the demon realm are long behind him. No, please, I pity you for going down this path and challenging me like this, Mechikabura, Raijin responds. But if there is one thing that you should go and know throughout the course of our entire battle, it is that long are the days, as they are far behind us at this point, in going as far as to wish for a way out, when all you are hereby left with are the ruins of your failure, which I will go on to make sure that you remember them personally. And so now watch as I go and turn you into a believer ever so slowly. And as I will admit to you and say that although you've grown quite powerful since my original time as ruler of the underworld, the power in which you use against me currently will crumble beneath the weight of the pressure that you have placed onto yourself by the time this day is through here between us, with Mechikabura responding, I will never allow for any other demon to go and come in the way of what I have already taken, which is mine. And is that so? Then you will have to go and fight much harder than this if you wish to go and keep this and having it be yours, Mechikabura. Or maybe you are slowly starting to see that you can't, even whilst trying to do your best to crush me, because unless you you think that I am anything like you've imagined me and having to be anything close to what I was before, then just you wait until I start to go and use more of my newly merged power here.
Every single match I had, we lost a person in the start. It just ruins the game, bro. Because we legit need every single player alive. We have to find this C and E key next.
It shall be done. I will grant your wish.
It's over!
Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done.
This is bad. Somebody's down.
Good now?
I owe you one.
Extreme caution if you're going to help them.
What's the big idea? Flying Nimbus!
against you, and as only then will you start to become a believer once I start to show you. To which as Mechikabura then made his way towards Raijin, even whilst narrowly having to escape Raijin's attack, with Mechikabura now show making his way ever so closer towards Raijin, was when Mechikabura then went on to shout, "Well fine, then if I can't blast you away, then I'll just go and do the next best thing in having to tear you apart if I simply can't blow you away into millions of pieces, Raijin. And so now I've got you." Wait, what the? He's gone, but how did he just go and do that? And more importantly is, where did he just go and run off to? But then, it was only just within that very moment from out of nowhere as Raijin went on to make his way in by kicking Mechikabura in the face, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond. And then since when was I ever known as being someone who would simply go and run away from any battle that I had ever found myself in, Mechikabura? And as you would be mistaken if you think that I would ever go and run away from any battle that I would go and find myself in being a part of, even here against you, demon. And since I always stood at the edge of battle against even those who were once considered in being far stronger than I was, through the ways in which of having to go and battle both angels and gods alike, Raijin continues, and as the very nature which I am made of should be more than enough to go and show you that I am one who stands to battle without any fear. And as it is only because of this which you and I couldn't be any more different, as you are within your limits, whereas I am without them, Raijin says. And since I am now without any limits, and with my power now woven into standing across even against the mightiest creatures who predate our very own kind, and I have forged my destiny into becoming an unstoppable force even by the standards of the gods and angels alike. For even if they can't go and hope to match my power in battle, then what makes you believe that you would fare any differently here against me, Mechikabura? Oh no! You will never best me so as long as I am able to continue to draw upon air within this body, Mechikabura shouts upon being shown firing multiple energy blasts at Raijin. And as once your throne has fallen, let my strength in leading our race be what leads to your downfall once again. But then, it was only just upon with Mechikabura's sudden shock as Raijin was beginning to collect and having to condense all of Mechikabura's attacks and having to form one big one up above them, was when Raijin then went on to respond, "Feeble placement holder, for do you recall what you had once went and told your enemies a long time ago, Raijin questions? That you would go as far as to strip them of everything that they are, and that you would erase and reduce them in becoming shells of who they once were. Well, how poetic it is that I will now do unto you with exactly on how you once vowed to go and do unto others, Mechikabura. But unlike you, I will go on to ensure that you feel every bit of what I'm about to go and give you, so that way you may come to understand on what it's like to be broken down and helpless." With the shocked Mechikabura responding, "Wait, you are able to somehow find a way and go and manipulate my energy attacks and convert them into passive power? But wait a minute, how are you able to go and do that?" With Raijin responding, "I am capable of far more than what you are able to understand, and now that I have that fallen angel's power that courses through my very body. And since you had already decided to go and make your bed here against me," Raijin continues, "let this hereby now go and serve its purpose, so I hope that you take this moment to go and reflect upon your actions, because I'm about to go and give you a dose of your very own medicine." No, but this can't be possible. Wait, just hold on for just a moment. It doesn't have to continue to be like this if you just wait. But it was already too late, because with a gigantic explosion now being shown having to take place beneath Raijin, was when Raijin went on to oversee the battlefield by then responding, "And as if your frivolous power could ever come close in comparing to the sheer strength that I possess is almost laughable. But for what it's worth, and if I didn't go and take action and evolve myself the way I did, did, then I have no doubt that I would have more than likely have fallen to the power the likes of which you currently possess, but needless to say, what an absolute tragedy, you pathetic creature, and here you really thought that you stood a chance in crushing what simply cannot be crushed, but maybe now you can go and see firsthand now with your very own eyes on how completely hopeless you truly are to stop me, demon, with Mechikabura having to gaze on up and then responding, "Oh, but how are you so strong, and how are you able to go and acquire this much power? For I don't understand, but if you were able to acquire the power of that former Angel Myrno, then how are you able to go and sustain yourself like this? As this shouldn't be possible for me to go and fall to the likes of this. And so now, how did you go and do it?" With Raijin responding, "You know, I should almost thank you for challenging me, demon, for I needed this test and having it be worthy of my newfound power, and what better opponent than the decrepit would-be ruler of the demon realm, who was only in the position that he was in simply because I had allowed for him to be. For the very moment I went on to take that fallen angel Myrno's power for myself, the very moment his divine essence became a part of me, I knew that there would no longer be any true rivals left for me to go and challenge, and now you are living proof of this, Mechikabura. But even now, as I stand here before you whilst reducing you down into what you currently are, that is shown barely standing in front of me," Raijin continues, "just because I was recently freed doesn't mean I was born yesterday, demon." Raijin went on to then quickly grab onto Mechikabura's staff, "because while you may have been able to go and lie along with Trick the others, you should have already known better than to go and try to do the same with me, demon. And since I already have a feeling that this staff of yours is something that I may need to go and inspect for myself, concealing the cube within this orb was far too predictable, as if you thought that by hiding the first of these cubes from me was actually going to work, and thinking that I wasn't going to be able to find it was a mistake. Because while I would have already assumed that you and your kind would have long discovered the secrets of these cubes," Raijin continues, upon being shown having to unscrew the orb and squeezing it, "and it doesn't go as far as to surprise me that while you and your kind that followed in my footsteps and having to rule in my place while I've been away, you've appeared to always search for your purpose on the surface, but had never once been smart enough to search from within. For there it finally is, the first of the 3 mighty gateway cubes, as I have longed for the very day ever since I was captured, and having to finally see this day through, and now that I have, only 2 more cubes remain," as a desperate Mechikabura then went on to quickly shout, "Curse you, Raijin! For if you were to go and take me down within the process of having to complete your mission, then I am going to see to it firsthand that I go and take a very large portion of you with me." As it was only within that very moment, seconds later, with Mechikabura attempting to blast Raijin, with Raijin being shown having to completely stop Mechikabura's attack with simply one finger, was when Raijin then went on to quickly respond, "But if you truly think that you are within the range of power to do anything in this situation that will work in having to stop me," Raijin continues, "then I hate to have to break it to you, but, well, with that fallen angel Myrno's power combined and working alongside my own, you could never hope to stand a chance against me, no matter what it is that you go and try to do here to survive. Because this right here means more to me than you could ever possibly hope to imagine," Raijin continues, "as it is the key to an ancient gateway that will guide me into ruling over all points of life across all timelines and dimensions, in first having to go and reveal to me on what lies beyond our current understanding of the multiverse which we exist within. Because why stop here when I can go and lay claim over everything that is within the realm of existence instead? For you should have been more careful with the items that you had carried, because I can go as far as to assure you that you will never go and have this opportunity in holding one of these ever again, demon. And so now gaze upon your ruin, Mechikabura, as with your flesh torn and your spirit crushed beneath the weight weight of my fury, Raijin continues. Do not waste the little breath that you still have left within your meaningless defiance here against me, and tell me what I need to know. As I care not of your pleas for mercy, as my sole purpose is to seek out the second configuration cube, so now tell me where it is right now, because if you don't, then I will go and unleash upon you a torment so profound and so cruel that the echoes of your screams will be heard throughout every corner of every universe as a testament of your undying failure. For you were never truly a god, but more of a placement holder until I returned, and now that I am here, your time is over. And so now, where is the second configuration cube? Speak of its location, or I will continue to squeeze what's left of your pathetic soul within my hand and devour your very essence until you are simply no longer able to exist, Mechikabura. And so this is going to be your one and only last chance. And so now tell me what you know about where the second cube is, or you will face my wrath in its entirety and have your soul be devoured forever, demon. With Mechikabura responding, wait, enough, I beg of you, so please, I will tell you on what I know, for all I know is that long ago, I had heard rumors of that second configuration cube being in possession of that scheming vermin warlord Demigra, as I remember on how it was once said that he just so have happened to have found such a relic, but what he plans to go and do with it, or if he knows anything more about its power, I do not know. But if you wish to go and seek this out and claim it, then you will have to go and rip it from his cold, twisted hands, since that is all of the knowledge that I have in regards to such things, as this is all I know. And so now please have mercy upon me, Lord Raijin, for I did not ever think that the rumors of your return were ever going to come true, and so please have mercy on my soul and grant me a second chance in kneeling before you whilst being at your service, Mechikabura says, as I do not know on where any of the other cubes are, with the only exception being the ones that I have heard, in understanding that Demigra carries the second, as I doubt that he is even aware of its true nature, along with what they are all capable of.
You'll be dead soon. So allow me to show you the true power of a Saiyan elite. Soil here looks perfect. Throw in some Cybermen. Make them suffer, Cybermen.
Gotcha.
Looks like you and me are thinking the same thing, Vegeta. Do it! Nappa! Got it.
Easy win.
Love once all three are gathered together, with Raijin responding, Demigra, you say? Now there's a name that I haven't uttered in ages, and yet it makes perfect sense, for that scheming wretch always did have an eye in wanting to obtain forbidden relics, slithering within the shadows and waiting for his moment to strike. But it matters not, Raijin continues, for all roads lead to me in the end, and with the first configuration cube now within my possession, it will only be a matter of time before I go and claim the second as well. But you should be honored, Mechikabura, as in your final miserable moments you have secured your place in history, but not as a king nor as a conqueror, but as a stepping stone towards my fulfillment, demon. For you are but a broken remnant of an era that no longer matters. Raijin continues upon being shown having to flick Mechikabura's own attack right back and through him, and for that I thank you for keeping our name alive, Mechikabura. However, the very moment you stood before me, your destiny from then on was sealed, as I was always going to take everything away from you one way or another, for there can only ever be but one true king of the demon realm and beyond. But tell me, Raijin further went on to then question, did you ever stop to think that there was always something waiting that was far beyond you? Something that was far darker and something that was far more ruthless than even your twisted little mind could possibly go on to go and comprehend there, demon? No? Well then allow me to go and introduce myself properly to you, as this will be the first and the last time that you ever will, for I am Lord Raijin, and I am the last nightmare that you will ever come to know. As a pleading Mechikabura went on to look up by then responding, wait, please, please spare me, spare my life and let me go, and allow for me to go and prove myself to you by honoring your name at your side and being someone to prove their worth to you, Lord Raijin. I beg of you, sire. With Raijin responding, you know, very few creatures get the privilege of playing a role at my side, no matter how small in a cause as grand as mine. But the problem with tools, Mechikabura, is that once they have been used, they must be discarded. And as you have now given me everything that I require, and now there is no more need for you to stick around by, for this is where your story comes to an end, as the demon realm will move forward from here on without you. To which it was only suddenly within that very moment, as Raijin went on to unleash a gigantic blast and having to completely decimate Mechikabura further, was when Raijin then went on to quickly continue, and so now perish alongside with those who stood against my mission in having your legacy be destroyed along with your miserable and useless existence. You wretched fools, for there is no throne in the demon realm but my own that exists, and no other law but my own that stands, Raijin continues, and yet, time and time again, these arrogant little vermin rise from the filth, diluting themselves into believing that they could carve out their own dominion here in my shadow. And while you were the latest to go and try here, Mechikabura, you most certainly won't be the last, but no matter. Because now that I have on what I came here in looking for, my path moving forward is now clear, as the final piece
Capable of reaching this level of power.
Let's try to get this W.
well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power
Someone
keys,
save me!
then place them in the right spots.
Thanks.
You found a power key. Go slot it.
Flying Nimbus!
That's a new power key. Place it now.
That won't work. No need for impatience. It's your turn now.
I didn't even realize this B key was found. I'm gonna go set it real quick and then head to A.
Great. You know what to do with that key.
Flying Nimbus!
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Holy hell.
Finally safe.
I'm the immortal who defy the will of a god.
I owe you one! Flying Nimbus!
Flying Nimbus!
Yeah, level 3 alive, Brad.
An ally needs your help. You don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in. Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done.
Flying Nimbus!
The super transfer is headed your way. Take it now. The startup system's under attack. It's dangerous, so tread carefully if you want to get closer. The startup system is under attack. Stop it if you can. Retreat if you need. I'll send some supplies to help. Make good use of them.
This is for our utopia.
Pieces to my ultimate plan are now beginning to finally take shape, and very soon Demigra will learn on just how futile his little schemes have always been if he dares to go and stand in opposing me, as he is nothing but a lowly parasite feeding on the scraps left behind by those stronger than himself, but he is not greater, for I am the one who stands as the greatest, and very soon he will go on to suffer just as Mechikabura had suffered if he refuses to go and bend the knee. Raijin continues, and if he does not go and give me what I seek, which there are only 2 more cubes that remain, then I will rip the second configuration cubes from his lifeless hands if it means having to get what I desire. But now to go and find him, for he was always known to conceal his essence where no other deity can go and find him, but where to look is the question. Raijin continues, for Murno's memory should give me an idea on where he might be hiding, and so now where are you? Ah, yes, there you are, Raijin continues. For Murno's highlighted sense of spirit awareness, along with his knowledge in being able to detect the life force of residing deities, have proven to be very much useful to me, and as I am now starting to see on how he was able to go and track down most of the gods that he was hunting, but even now, nevertheless, I found you, Demigra, and since I now know that you are in possession of the second cube in which I seek, you are either going to give me what I demand from you, or I will go and pry it away from your cold, dead hands if you refuse to obey me, demon. To which it was only just upon with Bulma and Dr. Hedo being shown panicking as they were trying to come up with a solution was when Dr. Hedo went on to then quickly respond, "Oh, damn it all, for it would appear as though Gamma 1's energy readings are rapidly dropping as he seems to be reaching his output limits, as there is no way that he can go and keep this level of resistance going for much longer, but until the updating process for both Android 17 and 18 are complete, then we have no other choice but to go and hold the line while we still can until something were to go and suddenly change within our favor," Dr. Hedo says. And so I say, unless we are to go and lose everything that we've been fighting very hard to protect here, then override the cryogenic lock if you have to, because we need 17 and 18 on the battlefield right now. Oh, I never thought I'd ever come to see the day where such creatures would be storming through the halls of Capsule Corporation like this and tearing everything apart while we wait for them to go and reach, as Bulma responds. And since they've already went as far as to go and breach through the eastern wing, the entire laboratory is about to be overrun, and what's worse is once they reach and are able to go and get to the main reactor, then it'll be lights out for all of us. But, well, since the cryogenic process seems to be at 97%, we just need for Gamma 1 to go and buy us a few more minutes until it is done, so that way the updating process can reach 100%, Bulma continues. And so do you think you can go and do that for us, Gamma 1? Because 2 more minutes is all we need, and the rest will be in their hands upon their arrival, and so do you think that you can go and do it, with Gamma 1 having to respond, "Well, I hate to have to go and break it to you both, but you'll need to go and hurry and speed this up while you still can, because they won't stop coming, and I can only do so much whilst holding them off alone, and so whatever the two of you got going on," Gamma 1 continues, "it better go and be a good one, because they've reached through my energy blasters and they are now just down the hall from where you both currently are. And so while I can't go and promise you both that I'll be able to go and hold them off for about another minute or two, whatever you are both hoping is going to work better go into effect right now before we end up losing everything." But even then, within that very moment, as Gamma 1 was being shown having to get tackled by several oncoming demons and looking to make their way through, was when one of the elite demons that goes by the name of Kaima went on to then respond, "Oh, and just like that, cornered is the machine, as he will no longer be what stands in between us and having him defend you any longer. Now go and move him aside, for we are just about to be in the middle of something very important, my fellow demons," as the secondary elite demon that goes by the name of Kyrax went on to then respond, "So what say you, Kaima? Shall we go and tear these two humans apart now and get this over with, or do you think that we should go and have a little fun with them first?" Well, I do have my eyes on that little blue-eyed mortal woman over there who is standing right next to that fat little pudgy human next to her, and so I don't really know, as I can't seem to make up my mind. But what say you, Kyrax? With Kyrax responding, "Then let's just go and get this over with by chewing through their bones as we feast upon their organs before we continue on our mission in purging this world once and for all, Kaima," as Bulma and Dr. Hedo were shown clicking on a button with Kaima responding, "Well, in due time, Kyrax, in due time. I mean, what are these two pathetic earthlings going to possibly hope to go and do onto us that their little secondary machine in the hallway just now wasn't able to go and do on its own?" Kaima questions, as these two are the ones whom Haas had warned us about, because since they don't come close in possessing the necessary battle power to go and do anything to stand up against us, they instead make up in their superior intelligence over the rest of them, which could grow into becoming a problem if these little worms aren't carefully dealt with. But since we now have them both exactly where we want them to be, Kaima continues, I guess it's best to see our mission through and wipe them both out now before we carry on, with Bulma having to respond, "Well, little do you know that you and your buddies had went and made a huge mistake by attacking this planet the way you all just did, and so just you wait, because very soon you will both be extremely sorry," with Kaima being shown approaching Bulma by then responding, "And what exactly do you expect will happen by having you smash all of those keys on that board behind you that'll go and make any sort of difference here between us? Bulma. Oh, such a pretty little mortal woman you are, and yet what a massive thorn in our side you have become. And so tell me, any last words? With the dire Bulma being shown noticing two oncoming blasts making their way towards her by then responding, well, since you are leaving me with no other choice here but to offer you my final words, then all I truly have to go and say here is brace yourself, Dr. Hedo! To which it was only surprisingly enough as two energy blasts were then shown having to make their way and smashing through the demons and causing them to fly out through the other side and outside of Capsule Corp was when Dr. Hedo then went on to respond, and just where the heck did those just come from? The entire building feels as though it's about to go and collapse, Bulma, with Bulma responding, well, I did urge for you to go and hurry and duck to avoid any blowback now, didn't I? Well, right, but that was far too close to comfort, Bulma, and I don't intend to go and lose my head here either, especially since it would be best for us both, along with the rest of the city, that I do. But look there, I think one of them is emerging from the shadows right in front of us down this hallway. Hey, look, Bulma then went on to quickly turn her head by responding, as I just knew that those upgrades would go and come in handy in seeing those two back to being front and center like how they used to be. You see, I told you that it would all work out for the better in the end, Dr. Hedo. And so welcome back, you two, and you guys look great, with the demon scientist Sugami having to respond, artificial humanoid programmed intelligence, but of course, or I should have known that these humans would eventually become intelligent enough to go and forge their own formidable androids, and now look, for this doesn't appear as though it'll be good, especially with there now being two of them who approach me, to which it was only then seconds later through the smoke as both Ultra Android 17 and Ultra Android 18 were then shown having to reveal themselves was when Ultra Android 17 then went on to respond, well, would you go and look at that, 18, for we have barely stepped out of our cryogenic chambers and we have already found ourselves knee-deep in Hellspawn. How very typical, but lucky enough, of course, for us, we are not the ones who should be worried here because you demons have no idea on what it is that you have just walked yourselves into, 17 continues, and so if they are looking for a war, then fine, for we will gladly go and give them one, and we'll make sure to go and do it on our terms as well. And since they came here looking to go and cause destruction, we are about to go and turn that destruction right back around onto them. And so what do you say we go and give these monsters exactly what they've been looking for, 18? With 18 responding, then what do you say we go and grind these demons down into exhaustion and we make them all suffer for just a little, so that way they can know on exactly what it felt like when they themselves had went and had done the same onto so many of the other innocent people before us, 17, because I am in no mood to go and play any kind of games here with these things, especially not with her over there, and so whatever you do, make sure that you leave her up to me, with Sugami then having to respond, no, this wasn't supposed to happen, for these two were nowhere near in being a part of the equation, and so how could I have been so short-sighted to go and overlook such things? For I knew that this Capsule Corp held advanced technology, but to program such androids to this magnitude, and to further go on to build such androids who would be capable enough of standing against the Demon Legion itself, is simply and utterly unacceptable. Bro, what an infuriating setback. These damn humans and their endless ingenuity, always tampering with the unknown and always finding a way to evolve beyond any other previous expectation, for I have went and underestimated them both. As I thought that their advancements were bound by the limits of their mortality, but I can now see that I was clearly in the wrong to do so, with Ultra Android 17 having to then respond, hey, so we think that it would be for the best if the two of you were to go and clear the way for just a second while we go and address the old man here in his fancy little lab coat there while we can, with Ultra 18 having to then respond, and since we have a feeling that you are some kind of scientist yourself, then how's about we go and give you a little helping hand there and having you go and take this back to your laboratory in the demon realm, with Sugami responding, well, actually, android mortals, I think that it would be wise for me to go and gain a larger standing here against you rather than being limited to the spaces within this lab, and so, if you truly wish to go go and get your filthy hands on me as badly as you claim that you do, Sugami continues, and I will go and see you both on the other side of these walls here and on the outside in the open, as I dare for you both to go and try to catch me then if you can, androids, with ultra.
Can you hear me?
Flying Nimbus!
Trunks, I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Someone save me! Someone save me! You be careful too, okay?
This is bad. Somebody's
Welcome.
down.
Thank you.
Exercise extreme caution if you're going down.
Flying Nimbus!
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies. You found a power key. Go slot it.
I don't think anyone's saving those guys.
Great. You know what to do with that key.
Stay calm.
I was just going to try to save these guys, but whatever. No one else tried to save them, so fuck it.
Android 18 having to then respond, "Oh, we can't just let him go and escape, but hurry, 17. We need to forge a barrier to shield the lab at once." Right then, to which it was only just upon with the Ultra Androids then being shown creating a barrier around Bulma and Dr. Hedo and shielding them from the explosion was when Ultra Android 17 then went on to continue, "Well, that was a close one just now, but it looks like that one there might be a tricky one to tag, since he appears to be using those portals of his to quickly jump in between worlds before he could fully be tagged by anything," with Dr. Hedo responding, "What an incredible surge of power that was, and this barrier that they forged to shield us, it's outstanding." And they were actually able to go and respond so fast that those demons didn't even know what hit them, with Bulma having to then chime in, "Yeah, no kidding, but did they go on to put an end to those two out there for good is the real question," with Ultra Android 18 responding, "You know, the two of you should go and stay put here and leave the rest rest of whatever is taking place on the outside for both me and 17 to handle from here on. You got that? And as we do just so happen to believe that it would be for the best if you did so anyways, because we don't want to go and run the risk of having anything happen to the two of you while this goes on, which speaking of, 17 then responds, "Hey Gamma 1, are you alright over there or what? How are you holding out and can you still continue to fight or do you still need a little bit of time to recover?" With Gamma 1 responding, Yeah, I think I'll be just fine out here, but, well, if the two of you are willing to go and step in by taking these two head on, well then by all means knock yourselves out while I keep an eye and defend the laboratory in the meantime then. And so I'll just go and stay here with Bulma and Dr. Hedo while you two go off and do your thing, with Kaima having to then respond, "Curse those wretched machines and these slimy little humans for building them," Kaima then went on to respond. And so now on me, Kyrax, for let us go and shred these pieces of trash before we go and lose the advantage that we just held. Well, with Gamma 1 still in the game, Ultra 17 went on to then chime in, "What do you say we go and run these monsters down and show them on how we like to go and get down here on Earth before we go and turn their lights off permanently?" With Ultra Android 18 responding, "Then let's go and show these freaks on just how dangerous we used to be like back in the day, but do make sure to go and leave that Kaima demon to me, 17. Well, I'd hate to have to go and ask here since I kind of already have a guess as to what you're doing over there, Bulma, but you don't surely plan on activating our Capsule Corp Supercell Max model now, are you?" Dr. Hedo questions, with Bulma responding, "Dr. Hedo, listen to me, for we are not going to let these demonic freaks go and have their way with us here, for they think that they can just storm in our facility, go inside and tear apart the entire building and overrun everything that we've built. Not on my watch," Bulma continues, "and so it's a good thing that we went and had been preparing for something like this, because now it's time for us to go and show these demons on exactly what we're capable of. And so you don't have to go and worry about its functions here either, because even you said it yourself when we were building this thing that this model is stronger, more controlled, and far more adaptable than your original Cell Max, and that means once it's deployed," Bulma continues, "we will finally have something that will go and stand on the front lines and take the fight directly to those demons alongside with both Gamma 1 and Android 17 and 18, and so the time is now," Bulma continues, "and so once this bad boy is operational and ready to go, those demons won't even know what's coming. So with the calibration process nearly complete and with the energy reactors at its peak output," Bulma continues, "once we go and bring Supercell Max to full power, it'll be an unstoppable force, as it won't just be a defensive weapon against them, but a colossal titan that was solely designed to protect this planet from anything that dares to go and try to threaten it." To which, moreover, as this was shown happening, when then having to venture on back onto Lord Beerus' planet and seeing the arrival of Goku, Vegeta, and Broly upon Beerus being shown having to teach Vegeta the essence of destruction, was when Beerus then went on to quickly respond, "Well, now try it again, because you won't be able to learn how to wield it properly if you aren't able to fully concentrate your mind on summoning destruction energy first before infusing it with your paralysis technique, and so go and try it again and make sure that you are able to fully hold its power in line before morphing it into a paralysis agent, Vegeta, and so now start over and try again." "Oh, damn it all," Vegeta responds, "I almost had it right where I needed for it to be, but it continues to slip right through my fingers every time I try and redirect its aim and getting it to be used as a paralyzing maneuver rather than simply having it be an uncontrollable and destructive one. And so I think I got— wait a minute, Kakarot, you're back already? But surely you didn't intend on coming here if your original motive was to go and grab Broly and make your way to Earth, wasn't it? Or did something go and happen along the way?" Vegeta questions, with Beerus having to then chime in, "That's right, and why do you all look a little banged up there? Because you didn't look like that before you left my world, and so what exactly happened back on that Saiyan's home world?" "Well, we didn't honestly think that we'd have to go and come back so soon," Goku responds, "but, well, not only did those demons go as far as to find us on planet Vampa and attack us before we can even know what hit us, but on top of it, it would also appear as though they are now on the hunt for us as well," Goku continues, "so we couldn't really go and do much outside of simply grab Broly and come back here to ensure that none of us are ambushed whilst having to get away from the rest of the group, but there also now appears to be some kind of a sudden and dreadful shift that we also felt within the air as well," with Vegeta responding, "Well, we went and felt it too, and so this must be the work of that bastard Raijin, but what exactly happened to those demons then if you say that they went and attacked you all on planet Vampa the way they did?" With Goku responding, well, they went and tried taking out Broly, but as soon as we went and stepped in to go and try to stop them, they went and used those demon portals as they made their way back inside of the demon realm, with Gohan having to then chime in, yeah, and with more of them now on the loose, we can't just go and take any more chances since they currently hold the numbers advantage here over us, and so I say, instead of allowing for them to come and try to go and attack us here in our universe, I say we should go and bring the fight to their front doorstep and go and challenge them directly in the demon realm. As Beerus went on to then quickly respond, well, with those annoying little demons aside, Beerus went on to then chime in, what exactly does this one think he's doing here? For he's been staring up at the sky now ever since he's gotten here, and so now what gives? Hey, are you alright there, Broly? Gohan then went on to question. You seem to be really fixated about something, and so what exactly is it that you keep staring at up there? With Broly responding, look closely up there above the clouds. There are portals that are starting to open, which means that they have found us, and so they're coming. With Gohan responding, hey, wait a second, look, he's right. Those rings in the sky, they were able to go and track us all down. To which it was only surprisingly enough unbeknownst to our heroes within that very moment, as the evolved demon Haas went on to step through and addressing our heroes, was when Haas went on to then quickly respond, so I was right to go and assume that this was going to be where you wretched mortals would go and run off to, but I'm not surprised one bit by this decision, and especially since you all believe that its governing god of destruction, Beerus, is going to go and protect you all from what you all already have coming your way, but nevertheless, we are all now here. And since we will now go and ensure you all that there will be no more running away now that we are all finally here to meet you in battle, and I went and made sure to go and even the odds this time around by calling upon some additional reinforcements just in case I needed it in order to ensure that you don't escape our clutches again, to which as the Dark Masters Gira and Jogo were then shown having to step through was when Gira then went on to respond, well, now would you go and take a look at what we have over here, for Haas was right to have predicted that this was going to be where you mortals were going to show up, and now that we have found them, it's time for our order to finally come to pass, and since you are all finally gathered together here and being exactly where we wanted for you all to go and be, we just hope you go and know that this is where you have reached the end of your line, as you will hereby meet your end right here, right now, with Jogo responding, oh, and look, well, if it isn't the one who went and was lucky enough to have gotten away from us when he first did after attempting to challenge our authority within the demon realm, for we have much to catch up on, don't we, Gira? And so now how do you want to go and do this? Because I say that we butcher these mortals here and now in preventing them from having a chance to go and fight back. But what say you? With Gira responding, oh, I see him, yes I do. But since of course we rarely ever find the chance in getting the opportunity to go and enjoy ourselves in punishing such pathetic little vermin like this, I say we go and have a little fun at their expense for a little while, in going as far as to inflict as much punishment onto their bodies and onto their souls that we could possibly go and exert, and then, only then, once we have went and had our fill in grinding these worms into the dirt where they belong, Gira continues, will we only then go and finish them off for good before we go and carry on by making our way into the other remaining universes within the multiverse, with Gohan then having to respond, oh, and so I take it that these two there are what make up two of the four governing Dark Masters of the Demon Realm then, is that it? But just how in the world did they just go about in having to track down our whereabouts as quickly as they just did? Oh, as I can only assume that it's more than likely due to the imbalance that they've caused all throughout the multiverse that had led them in tracking us all down the way they just did, with Goku responding, oh yeah, they are, and I would know best since I had to go and deal with these two back when I was first in the Demon Realm, with Vegeta responding, it's great, and it looks like they've brought company whilst going out of their way to come and find us, and so now brace yourselves everyone, because this is bound to go and get ugly real fast, and that goes for the two of you up there as well, demons. And so don't try to go and get the wrong idea about us all here either, with Gira chiming back in, well, we have quite the group of warriors on our hands down there now, don't we, Jogo? Because as cute as it is to see you all band together like a pack of rats, fighting amongst one another will not go and save you, with Jogo responding, and since you are the last of a very small few who stand in the way of having Lord Raijin complete his mission, from this moment forward, you will come to ultimately realize the dangers of your actions in choosing to defy us whilst knowing that you have no chance in stopping us. As Goku then went on to quickly shout, yeah, well, keep dreaming, because if the two of you think that we are just going to stand down and watch you plunge the multiverse into further darkness, then you demons have another thing coming, because we aren't looking to settle things here between us until we know for a fact that this is over and done with for good, and so don't even think about it. With Vegeta responding, well, if your intentions were to come and find us along with willingly going as far as to perish in battle for the sake of honoring your deranged master Raijin, then far be it from us to go and keep you waiting then. With Jogo being shown cracking his neck and responding, you are arrogant in assuming that you will go and walk away from this battle with a victory over any of us is your first mistake, for we will go and stop at nothing to ensure that Lord Raijin's will in having to eliminate all those who choose to go and stand in the way of his plans will be fulfilled, and in your cases, there will be no last-second comebacks given and no unexpected saviors that will go and pull you away from the abyss of our wrath. And for the promise that we have made to our great king in finishing the mission will be realized. With Gira responding, that's right, and unlike before, dear old son Goku, we will also go as far as to ensure that you will not be so lucky to be freed from your punishment like how you were shown being before, because since we are both here and since we already know as to what it is that we can expect from all of you, we hope that you are all ready for what is about to come, for you will not be so lucky to go and escape our judgment for a second time. And so in the name of Lord Raijin, let us commence forth and begin. To which it was only just upon with both 18 and 17 being shown having to make their way outside before having to confront these demons was when Ultra Android 18 then went on to respond, you feel that too, don't you, 17? That rising wave of power signatures all around us, where it only now seems as though they are all around us and they won't stop coming until they have finished their mission, it seems, and so it's best for us to go and keep guard here over Capsule Corp, since our greatest and last line of defense comes down onto the shoulders of both Bulma and Dr. Hedo. With Ultra Android 17 responding, I do, but you've got to go and stay sharp at all times, since it looks like we are all the Capsule Corp has at the moment, 18, for it only now looks as though our newly upgraded enhancements are now starting to draw more and more attention towards us as well. But what do you think, 17 questions? Do you think that those two are up to something over there or what? With 18 responding, oh, without a doubt, but even though I want for us to slowly go and inflict as much pain onto these monsters and getting them back for doing what they had went and done onto others, for it would be wise for us to go and get as much fun out of them as we possibly can early on, 18 continues, before they go and manage to go and turn the tables against us. With 17 responding, well, if that's the case, then just try to go and keep a close eye on that lady demon over there, because while running a quick scan, I was able to go and detect acidic blood, which likely means that you might want to go and try to avoid cutting her down, but at the same time, you might want to go and take a quick look up above you if you aren't already able to see it. With Ultra Android 18 responding, I do in fact, and from the looks of it, they seem to be astral projections that mirror the other 11 existing universes as well, 18 continues, which would also go as far as to explain on why everything feels so dark and heavy within the past several hours, and so I can only go on to wonder on what this could mean. With Ultra Android 17 responding, well, whatever this may be, we'll have to go and trust that Goku and the others are going to try to fix whatever may be happening out there that is currently outside of our control, and so in the meantime, while we are here, the Earth needs our backing, and that is exactly what we are going to go and do, as our main focus should be to fend off whatever comes our way here, while we go in and trust that Goku and the others will go and take care of the rest out there. With the Elite Demon Kaima having to then respond, oh, the hell with waiting. On my mark, Kyrax, hold nothing back and let's go and reduce these walking piles of trash cans down to scraps. And so now, Kyrax, fire and blast those rotten machines and make sure to use as much sudden force as you can possibly go and muster and fire upon them both right now. now. Yes, a direct hit, Madam Kaima, Kyrex responds. And with both of them not having to expect our attacks to occur so suddenly, that ought to be what goes and does the trick then, with Kaima responding, yes, well, good riddance if it did, because I was starting to go and get very annoyed at the fact that, wait, no, but surely they couldn't have possibly been able to find a way to reverse our attacks this quickly since they weren't shown having to move now, did they? Unless, prior to our upgrades, your energy attacks would have likely torn right through us given the gravity of how dense those attacks were just now. 18 went on to then chime in, as it would have likely been enough to easily go as far as to overwhelm our defenses, but now, well, thanks to our recent enhancements, both 17 and I can do something that we couldn't go as far as to go and do before, and that is solely due to our newly generated upgrades. We can now siphon off and absorb energy attacks, as well as adapt to them mid-battle in weaponizing your own techniques against you, with Ultra Android 17 responding, that's right, and with that said, we want to know on how exactly do you plan on beating us if every one of your energy attacks that the two of you send our way will only go as far as to continue to make us grow stronger each time you attempt to go and fire them directly towards us. 17 questions. Because if you honestly thought that you were just going to be dealing with your average androids, then the two of you are in for a very rude awakening. And so now, let me go and help you both by having to go and break this down a little better so that way you may understand. For you see, unless the two of you are capable in creating an energy output that is at least triple the absorption threshold that is built within our systems, then your attacks are as meaningless as they could come, 17 says. And so while we can either go and choose to continue to grow stronger by using your energy as a power supply, or simply fire it back and redirect your blasts right back at you, unless you are both able to go and overpower the absorption protocol that is installed within us, then all you'll be doing is continuing to fuel us, with 18 responding. And so we hope that you are finally starting to understand, because with your greatest asset and that having to be your energy now being used to our very advantage and having to turn it against you, it'll only be a matter of time before we go and break you both down piece by piece until there is nothing that remains once this is all said and done. As an angry Kaima then went on to respond, you've got to be kidding me. And so they can passively absorb our attacks and redirect them back at us if they choose to not go and siphon it off and get stronger during battle? Well, so what? As if hoping to try and manipulate our own power and using it against us will do you any good, because it won't. As demonic energy such as the one that stems from the demon realm isn't as easily usable as one might believe for it to go and be Android. As Android 17 then went on to chime in, so is that the plan that you want to try and run while we go and do this, 18? Because while I share the same principle in wanting to slowly grind them into the ground, shall we go and take this time to go and try to get as much out of them both before having to send them out into the afterlife, or should we just simply go and cut right down to the chase and finish them both off while we're fresh here, or what? With 18 responding, well, since their kind had went and started all of this, it's only fitting for us to go and put an end to it as ruthlessly as they first did when they started coming here, 17. And so, it is like I said, you may go and take the bigger one of the two while I go and handle my business with her in the meantime, 18 continues. So just try not to go and lose your head out there in the meantime now, will ya? To which it was only just upon with Kyrax being shown having to slam his way into Android 17 was when 17 then went on to quickly respond, great, well there he goes, I guess. I'll suit yourself then, 18, but just know that we don't want to go and waste too much of our time here against them either, and for obvious reasons too, with all things considered. And so just try and stay sharp out there, because you'll never know on what these things will go and try to do. And so now as for you, 17 went on to then redirect his focus, what do you say you and I try to go blow for blow so that we can go ahead and find out and seeing which one of us hits the hardest then, shall we? Well, worry not then, you delusional machine, because I'll go and make sure to personally go and educate you and showing you on exactly how strong I can truly be once I am able to go and grind you into a million mechanical pieces. As Ultra Android 18 went on to then address Kaimo and then responding, well then I guess that just leaves me and you then, doesn't it? Well, go on then. Come and show me on how scary you so-called hunters really are, because you don't scare me, not by a long shot. And so what do you say you go on ahead and bring it then? With an angry Kaimo responding, oh, you want me to come and bring it now, do you, Android? Well, don't you worry about what you have coming, because I am going to go and give you exactly what you've been aching for once I go and tear you in half for ever daring to go and stand in the way of Lord Raijin's command. And so as a result, such artificial intelligence could never go and hope to hold a candle in comparing themselves to our kind, because sooner or later, whether it's done swiftly or suddenly, you will come to ultimately realize that no matter how advanced your programming here on this backwater planet may be, it will never grow to become powerful enough in having it be the difference maker in putting down our forces from the demon realm. Well, how mighty bold of you to go and assume that we here from the 7th aren't capable in dealing with our fair share of issues, because guess what, 18 questions? For you and your kind most certainly wouldn't be the first to go and try it, as you won't go and be the last to go and try it against us here either, 18 continues. But for every battle that we have fought and waged, and through every new enemy that we had went to face throughout the decades, if there is one thing that I do know will stand the test of time, it is that we will stand to go and rise against any new challenge that threatens our very own way of life here, and no matter how big or how small that challenge may be, we will always go and find a way to overcome it, no matter how long it will go and take for us to go and do it. But then, it was only just upon with Kaima's body being shown having to be smashed through several buildings, as Kaima went on to then power up moments before having to unleash several energy blasts directly towards 18, was when Kaima then went on to quickly shout, "That's enough out of you, for I refuse to go and allow for myself to be bested by a worthless and inferior machine such as you, and simply having you go and attempt to talk down to me the way that you are, android. For there is no way that I will go and stand to believe your lies, given your inferior nature to my own." With Ultra Android 18 being shown responding, "Maybe you didn't go and hear us when we tried telling you that this simply won't work out here against us, demon, as all you'd be doing here is simply helping me grow stronger and having to go and use this against you at some point. But if you don't want to go ahead and take it from me," 18 continues, "then why don't you go and have a little bit of a closer look and asking your friend over there on if we just so happen to be lying." To which, as Kaima went on to then turn around, she was only within that very moment narrowly shown having to lean on back and having Kyrax's body fly right through, as Kaima went on to then quickly respond, "What the hell? But why is this all starting to happen to us now all of a sudden? Oh, curse these wretched machines and their pathetic mortal creators who forged them. For we are starting to go and lose ground fast." As Ultra Android 18 went on to then teleport behind Kaima by then responding, "Maybe now you can start to slowly open your eyes and realize that no matter what the two of you try and use and attempt to go and try to throw our way, it simply isn't going to work, and deep down, you know that what I am telling you is the truth," 18 continues, "and so you might as well just go and accept it, because this isn't going to go and end well for the two of you, and you know it. And so the longer you try to go and continue to drag this battle out here against us," 18 went on to then lean towards Kaima's shoulder and by then responding, "the deeper the pain will end up feeling. And so we'll go and call it even in having this be an eye for an eye and having us give you creatures a little taste of your own medicine." But Kaima was having none of it, because even
Still
despite
hair
Kaima
waiting,
being
guys.
shown
Still hair
attempting
waiting.
to attack 18 was when 18 went on to then stop her attacks, as Kaima responded, "Man, just what makes you think that you androids hold any sort of dominion over our kind in assuming that you have already won when our battle here has only just begun? For how could you go and be so sure of your ability to even go and stop us when you are both in fact far beyond the point of ever having to be claiming to be in control here, android? And if you are lucky enough to go and survive and having to make it past us, then it doesn't matter in the long run, because if the Dark Masters don't already reach you in time in finishing the mission before us, then there is no doubt that Lord Raijin will, which that is going to be one battle that I can guarantee none of you will be able to win alone." As Ultra Android 18 then went on to respond, "Well then I guess we'll just have to go and cross that bridge when we get there then, now won't we? And since I assume that this Raijin you speak of is more than likely the ringleader and the one who is mainly responsible for this entire mess, you really ought to go and think twice before having to go and second guess our ability in overcoming the most difficult odds that are stacked against our favor, demon." none. For you and your kind will be lucky enough to last any longer out here against us the way you are, 18 continues. And that is simply because once we start to crank things up and really start to turn things up against you monsters, will it only be the very moment where you will all come to realize that coming onto this world and attempting to wipe out all of the life that stands in the way of your plans for absolute domination over the multiverse was a mistake. And it'll be one mistake that I will promise will cost you all dearly by the end of all of this. But then, it was only within that very moment, seconds after 18 was shown having to completely electrocute Kaima, with Kaima then being shown having to laugh, was when 18 then went on to question, wait a second, are you laughing? And just what exactly is it that you are able to go and find that's so funny about any of this, 18 questions? Since I'm now more than curious to know myself on what could possibly be so funny right now, Demon, with Kaima responding, while I find your puny little mortal upgrades and enhancements to be quite the impressive one when having to consider on how this was certainly not something that Kyrax and I had expected to go and run into whilst purging this planet of its mightiest fighters, but I just want you to understand that if both you along with your android counterpart over there think that you have figured us all out and assuming that we are done for, then you should really stop and ask yourself on how sure you truly are about that, Kaima says. Because not only did we demons come fully prepared and having to go and use any possible measure that was made available to us in order to secure a victory over you annoying mortals, but I also happen to harbor a very unique little ability that I surely know will be what goes and gets your circuits jumping, android. And so now stay right where you are and watch this, as I want for you to go and feel every bit of pain that I can possibly go and dish out, and having you feel the wrath of my vice shout, android. But of course, frequency distortion, for now we know on what needs to be done, Kyrax says, with Kaima being shown having to then attack Android 18 by responding, well, would you go and take a look at that, for it seems as though like you androids here aren't as invincible as you originally assumed that you would go and be, and rightfully so. And as I already knew that this would go and be what would go and give us the edge here over the two of you, and it looks as though I was right to assume that it would, Kaima says. And since I can now see on exactly where your vulnerabilities lie, and having my technique be what disorients your programming, let this now serve as being payback for ever daring to go and run your mouth off here against me, with Ultra Android 17 having to then shout, oh no, hurry and stand back up and continue to fight, 18! As you shouldn't go and allow for that demon's temporary vice shout to be used as a distortion method in throwing you off your game, 18! And especially when I know that you can go and power through it, for you are stronger than she is, and so now hurry and stand back up and go and give it right back to her, as the elite demon Kaima went on to then chime in, no, how pitifully sweet you are to go and reassure your allies' position when you are going to be no different in suffering the exact same fate as she just did, and falling victim to my vice shout as well, android. To which of course seconds later within that very moment, that was exactly what Kaima ended up doing, because with Kaima then being shown having to once again use her vice shout was when the elite demon Kyrax then went on to chime in, yes, that's right, for you pesky little androids weren't expecting for Kaima to go and rattle your programming and cybernetic enhancements with this little technique, now were you? And so now therefore I have this one within my clutches, and since I have him right where you want for him to be, Kyrax continues, he's all yours, and so now hurry and come and turn his lights off permanently while his guard is now down, Kaima, with Kaima responding, with pleasure, my dear old friend. And now that you wretched machines are scrambling to maintain your collective consciousness and collect yourselves after using my vice shout to momentarily disorient you both when you least had expected for me to go and do, I think it's time that we go and find out on what your insides look like, because I can't help but wonder now on if you're simply made up of computer parts or if you're simply made of flesh and bone. But then, it was only just within that very moment from out of nowhere as Orange Piccolo went on to make his presence known, in further having to be shown directly attacking the elite demon Kyrax, was when Orange Piccolo then went on to quickly shout, oh no, you demons don't, not on my watch you won't, and since the two of you think that by running the numbers advantage over our forces was going to help save you, well, you better go and think again. As a shocked Android 17 went on to respond, hey, what in the world? Piccolo? But where in the world did you just come from? With Orange Piccolo then shown having to grab onto Kaima's neck by responding, well, never mind the introduction for now, and so hurry and make your move on her while I'm still able to grab hold of her, 17, and so do it! With Kaima responding, what is this? A Namekian here on Earth and leading a helping hand to an android? Why, you disgraceful excuse for a life form. Just you wait until I go and get my hands on you for daring to come in the way of our... But then, it was only as quickly as it happened with Ultra Android 17 then being shown having to double axe handle Kaima right back down onto the ground was when 17 went on to then quickly chime in. You should be more concerned with having to go and deal with myself in 18 before you go off and having to turn your attention towards Piccolo, demon. And so now thanks for the save there, Piccolo 17 continues, even though both myself and 18 had everything under control against those two. But tell me something, are you sensing what I'm sensing take place around the planet here too, 17 questions? As it's hard to go and get a good read on what exactly is taking place, since it already looks like more and more of these things are starting to converge all around our area now as well, with Orange Piccolo responding, well, for what it's worth, things had only continued to seem as though they were getting worse and worse, especially with this sudden darkness that went and appeared from out of nowhere in the sky. And so now, while I'm not quite sure on how Goku and the others are faring up within the moment, Piccolo continues, and I'm afraid it's going to be up to us to go and ensure this planet's safety along with everyone on it, Piccolo says. And so from here on, I'll be joining you both to oversee and strengthen your stranglehold while we still hold the advantage over them, Piccolo continues, but I'm going to need you to go and brace yourself for anything at any given moment, for I have a very bad feeling about what it is that is yet to come here, 17. To which it was only moments just before anyone had decided to go on and make a move, with our heroes nervously having to approach the Dark Masters and addressing them, was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, oh, I don't like this, you guys, but we've got to go and make sure to go and hold our own out there against them and not give them an inch no matter what they go and try to throw our way in the meantime, since they're here. Oh, well, just great, Beerus went on to then quickly chime in. So that decrepit ruler of the underworld, Raijin, has finally had enough in wanting to go and take action here against us now, does he? Well, since he went and called for the two of you along with the rest of your filthy minions to go and try to do so, Beerus says, then why doesn't he simply go and come out of the shadows in which he hides behind and enact these deeds of destruction against us here himself then? With the Demon Dark Master Gira having to respond, decrepit, you say? And just who exactly are you calling to... Oh, that's right. For now, I remember, as it's been a few hours since you have all went and laid eyes on Lord Raijin, and so no. For while you may have went and remembered Lord Raijin and having to go and make his way down onto this world while he was in his elder state, we, on the other hand, can simply go and guarantee you all that Lord Raijin is certainly not the same as you had remember him being when he first came here, with the Dark Master Jogo having to then chime in, that's right, and if you fools believe that he is anywhere near in being the exact same as he once was, then you don't hope to go and stand a chance when compared to what Lord Raijin has become now. And so one way or another, your end has now finally arrived, whether you want it to be the case or not, Universe 7, with Gohan then having to respond, oh well, if those surrounding portals behind them are any indication of something, then all this means is that we'll have to go and fight them both head on right here, right now, because it certainly doesn't look as though they went and planned on coming onto Lord Beerus's planet here alone either. And so it's either we go and deal with them here and now, or they will simply go and continue to track us all down until they have went and cornered us, with Beerus then being shown having to crack his neck and approaching the Dark Masters from below by responding, well, since you are the ones who have been solely responsible for creating this entire mess by not only having to go and steal the Super Dragon Balls when you did, but in also having to go and plan this entire invasion ordeal out, along with having to go and resurrect that demon god Raijin of yours, then how's about you go and leave these mortals out of this for the time being and come down here and face me alone? Because if you believe that I'm not going to go and pay you all back for disrupting the natural order and balance within my universe, then the two of you have another thing coming. And so now what do you say we go and settle this entire ordeal once and for all, and for good this time, demons? But then it was only just within that very moment, as both the Dark Masters Jogo and Gira were then shown having to stick their arms out and combining their energies for something, was when Jogo then went on to quickly respond, well, as a matter of fact, God of Destruction, we actually have other plans for you. you, as you may in fact actually end up proving and posing as being one of the more difficult factors in this upcoming battle, and so for the time being, we instead think that it would be best for you to go and simply sit this one out for us in the meantime, Gira responds, since we instead have a little bone to go and pick with those mortal rodents around you for having them go and simply defy Lord Raijin's law, but worry not for the time being, Lord Beerus, for we will go and make sure to save you for last once we are done ripping your allies apart down there into pieces, Gira utters, and so now, go on and be a good little god of destruction and just stay right where you are. No, is that so? And just what are you what is this for? I can't seem to be able to move my body, and so what is this? What did you rotten worms just go and do to my body? As Goku then went on to respond, whoa, what the heck just happened to him? As it looks as though he's just frozen in place, but what is it? With Vegeta chiming in, it looks as though it's some kind of a paralyzing barrier which they appear to be using both of their own power along with an outside means of energy to go and bind him in his current place. But the others weren't having it, because with both Broly and Gohan then shown having to transform and immediately using their strongest levels of power was when Gohan then went on to quickly respond, oh hurry, because it's now or never then, Broly, and so now let's go and show these Dark Lords on what exactly we're made of and go and turn their lights off once and for all and for good this time. But then, it was only shockingly enough from behind the Dark Masters as the elite demon Mechimyro went on to make his presence known and having to be shown firing multiple energy blasts down upon our heroes was when Gira went on to then quickly respond, oh well, let's not go and try to get too far ahead of ourselves now, for we had went and made sure to come prepared just in case something like this were to go and happen, and so now, Mechimyro, as they are all yours for you to go and pick apart down there, to which as Broly was then shown making his way towards Mechimyro and tanking all of his blasts was when Goku then went on to quickly shout, no, quickly, us too now, Vegeta, and so let's hurry. On my signal, we'll go and close in right behind Broly and rush right through and having to go after those Dark Masters, with Vegeta responding, alright then, and so in the meantime, Gohan, we'll need for you to go and try to free Lord Beerus while me and Kakarot go and handle the other two. Foolish Saiyan, Mechimyro went on to then chime in, struggle all you want, for your resistance to my attacks will only take you so far here against me, since you won't be able to go and sustain and withstand many more of these if this goes on to continue. But then, it was only from within this very moment as both Goku and Vegeta went on to transform and using Broly as a means of tanking all of Mechimyro's attacks and having to make their way right past him was when Goku then went on to shout, right there, and so now's our chance, so let's hurry as I'll go and take the hooded one to the left while you go and deal with Gira on the right, and so let's go, with Vegeta shouting, fine, but don't go and stand in my way in the meantime while I go and handle her then, Kakarot, with the Dark Master Gira then having to then respond, just as expected they would. Very well then, Saiyans, let us begin, but just do bear in mind the plan in the meantime while we go and fight these little worms, Jogo, because we cannot go and risk fumbling this against them while they are all already here. To which even then within these very moments as Goku and Vegeta were shown having to fight off against the Dark Masters as a full-powered Super Saiyan 3 Broly was shown having to attack Mechimyro was when Beast Gohan then went on to respond, just remember to go and try to stabilize yourself out there as I will be right there to go and join you in this battle once I am done and having to go and try to help Lord Beerus break free, and so just give me a moment while I try to go and figure this out in the meantime, Broly. And so now just hang in there for just a moment as I'm going to try to break through that paralyzing barrier by using my own power in response to its energy output to go and try to free you, Gohan says, with Beerus having to then utter, wait, no, don't attempt to go and try it just yet, and so wait, damn Saiyan, watch out behind you. But then, it was only from out of nowhere now behind Gohan as the elite demon Zoro went on to make his presence known by having to appear and wrapping himself around around by having to grab hold and squeeze Gohan within his arms was when Zoro then went on to quickly respond, "Oh no you don't, Saiyan, for you aren't going to be helping anyone so as long as I am here to ensure that you don't, and so from here on, you will be going and dealing with me in the meantime while you go and watch from the sidelines as your beloved friends and family are torn into pieces." "Oh, curse you, demon," Vegeta responds upon being shown fighting Gira. "What is the trick to how you were able to go and move like this and read my attacks the way you are before I go and try to make them? As you are being fueled by something in response to each and every single one of my counterattacks, now aren't you?" With the Dark Master Gira responding, "Well, not bad, Saiyan, so maybe I am being given leverage in this battle here against you mortals by some kind of an outside means, but I guess the question now becomes on what exactly do you think you can possibly hope to do that will stop me from using it, Vegeta? For do you think that you can go and figure that out in time? Because I think that you and your little friends down there are all running on borrowed time, and deep down, you know this to be true. And while your powers may be impressive to those who are blind to the truth of knowing what you along with your other mortal friends are capable of in battle," Gira went on to then duck on under by doing a split and avoiding Vegeta's attack, "it was because we were able to go and study your battle against that fallen angel Murno that gave us the advantage in coming up with a plan that was effective enough in countering whatever you and your allies would go and try to throw our way. And so you can try as you'd like, but little do you know that it was thanks to your battle against Murno that we were able to go and learn everything about you." To which it was only within that very moment as Vegeta's body was shown having to fly right past the battle involving both Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku and Jogo was when Jogo went on to attack Goku by then questioning, "Honestly now, Saiyan, what makes you think that your battle here against us is going to be any different than how it was when we had first went and faced off against you in the Demon Realm before you went and managed to escape, as you and I both know that you are without any hopes of having to win, and so why don't you just go and give up and accept your fate here against us and knowing that you simply can't win?" With Goku responding, "Well, if you haven't already caught on by now, then I would much rather go and perish on my feet than ever live to go see the day where I would ever go and submit myself to the likes of you and your kind." "Well, I expected as much," Jogo responds upon Goku being shown having to miss one of his punches, "but since you appear to warrant some kind of a death wish while choosing to decline our willingness to allow for you to live under the rulership of the almighty Lord Raijin, then allow for Gira and I alongside the rest of our mighty demon army to go and see to it that you get exactly what you deserve, Son Goku." Yes, you see that? Now tell me, Saiyan Zaru questions, how does it feel to know that you are powerless to go and do anything to stop me and having to see your loved ones crumble around you one by, well, I don't know what exactly you want to go and take me for here, Gohan responds upon being shown elbowing Zaru in the stomach, "but I am in no mood in continuing to go and play these little games of yours, demon, for we have had enough of this, all of this," with Zaru responding, "Oh, so we have a feisty one over here now, don't we? Well, even though I didn't go and take you up as being some kind of a mere walk in the park here, mortal, however, don't go and get the wrong idea about our forces here from the demon realm either, Saiyan, because if you think that this is all that we here from the world beyond yours can muster in battle, then you should really stop and reconsider on what it is that you are truly going up against here, mortal. But since I absolutely love your never die attitude," Zaru continues upon being shown kicking Gohan away, "what do you say we go and put that to the test and seeing which one of us is truly the tougher fighter here between us, Saiyan?" As it was only within that very moment with Gohan's body being shown having to fly right past Beerus, who was still frozen in place, was when Beerus went on to then utter, "It's just great, for those demons are swatting those Saiyans down there like flies, and here I am just standing here like some kind of a statue, and just simply having to go and watch as they continue to go and spit directly in my face. Well, no more, for I am not to be treated with such disrespect and to stand to allow for you to escape me without having to answer with retaliation. As I have had enough in having you try and walk all over me whilst forgetting as to who I am along with the title that I hold. You rotten and miserable little creatures go and try to freeze me in place and expect for me not to answer back now, do you? Well, I'll show you. I'll go and show all of you on why I am not to be messed with like this, Beerus continues. And as I have went and seen all that I can possibly go to hope and stand to endure from these demons for one day. And so if this was what you have wanted, then allow for me to gladly go and... But then, it was only shockingly enough now from behind Beerus, as a gigantic arm was then shown having to reach on out through a portal and grabbing Beerus in place, was when Beerus went on to then utter, "Damn it all, what now? And just where in the world did this just come from?" And I hope that you come to understand that just because you've went and increased both your size along with your power doesn't automatically mean that I am at a disadvantage against you. For the very power that was given onto us by our great leader goes far beyond what your mere mortal mind can understand, and with the essence of the demon realm itself having to fuel my energy, I can simply go and continue to fight you like this for days on end without running out of power, whereas you rely solely on your driven nature, which is limited by your ability to carry, because unlike creatures like you, we here in the demon realm were created for this exact purpose, which is ultimately why you have no chance at beating me, Mekimaro continues. Now just watch as I go and set the example by showing you on exactly why you are powerful yet powerless in doing anything to change that, Mekimaro continues. For my energy cannons along with my blitz waves will be shown to be more than enough to rip right through your flesh and tearing you apart before you can wait. What? Your body was able to go and hold out, a surprised Mekimaro shouts. Even here against my rapid fire blitz wave attack with hardly any damage that is shown on you, but how could that be possible? For why aren't you shown in having to be weakened like how I was shown having to weaken you on that desert homeworld planet of yours before? Oh, why you? So it looks as though you aren't just a mere cave-dwelling pushover after all, Saiyan. But don't go and get too cocky, for my metal isn't just something that you can find yourself in having to punch your way right out of so easily, mortal. But then, it was only within these very moments now from out of nowhere behind Mekimaro, as the elite demon Garlock went on to make his presence known and having to further prevent Mekimaro in flying outwards, was when Garlock went on to address Mekimaro by responding, "Easy now, Mekimaro, for you are allowing for your frustrations in wanting to shred this animal to sway your actions and cloud your judgment during this battle, and as you shouldn't go and allow for this abnormal creature's durability to hinder on your focus," Garlock says, "for he is made of both flesh and bone, while you are comprised of the strongest known metals in the entire universe, and so now hold your position and remember your purpose here, demon, as these very animals are but an annoying yet very simple enemy to overcome, for they are both predictable and driven by their impulse and blind determination, which will lead to their downfall, and as they lash out in reckless outbursts of strength in believing that their own power can carry them to victory, that will be where you will need to go and strike when they are at their weakest mentally," Garlock continues, "and so now let them go and scream and burn right through their strength and exhausting every pitiful ounce of power that they possess, because it is simply going to be the one and only thing that these creatures can go and cling on to, whereas we are creatures of calculated ruin and guided by the eternal power of the demon realm's very essence itself. And as long as that very darkness continues to go and flow through us, there is nothing that they can go and do to try and escape their judgments, whether they want to go and choose to continue to stand against us or not. And so now hold your position and prepare to fire on my command. For every strike must carry intention, and every blast must tear through their defenses and forcing their bodies to crumble under the weight of their own failure. So while I continue to hereby go and make them feel that very weight as a result of their own miscalculations, I want you to go and watch as I go and show you on what I mean by using this brute's very own attacks and turning it against his allies. And as they are not without their own flaws in being widespread and exposed closed for all those who stand against them to go and see, Garlock continues. And to go and use their own power against them is what will also be the key in witnessing their downfall upon our quest to do what must be done, Mechimyro, Garlock continues. And since their very power is limited, whereas ours is not, remember your focus in not giving them any room to breathe, Mechimyro. And then so now, what do you say you go and keep that brute at bay and continue to punish him by blasting him into submission, while I, on the other hand, go and take care of our little friend over there in the meantime. Show no mercy and do not relinquish your attacks until he is no longer able to stand, with the Demon Mechimyro responding, with pleasure, as this one here is going to be mine to destroy, and my alone, while I go and offer you his ally within his place. Good, very good, Garlock responds upon having to be shown using one of his energy whips and wrapping it around Gohan's neck. And so now tell me, puny Saiyan, did you truly go on to believe that Mechimyro here would go and come into this battle alone? Because while I go and continue to choke the life out of you by using my darkness binding lash, I can go as far as to assure you here and now that he wouldn't have been coming here alone, Saiyan. And so for every second that your resistance continues, so too does your suffering, Garlock adds. So the longer you refuse to bow your head and submit yourselves to Lord Raigen's law, the deeper your agony will run. For do you really think that your friends over here are going to come and save you? For do you really think that your allies stand any hope of turning the tides here against us, Saiyan? Because I want for you to go and take a closer look around you, for they won't, and that's because they can't. As every clash along with every futile attempt to resist us only serves to further your punishment, as your suffering will be what will feed us. For the multiverse will remember this day here between us, but not as a day of victory on your behalf, but as the hour when the last flames of resistance were extinguished. As you are no savior of the multiverse, but rather simply just the latest fool to go and try to stand before the unrelenting might of Lord Raigen's law, and just like those who have long came before you to oppose his governance, you too will be crushed as a result of your insolence against him. Little by little, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, one by one we will cripple and devour you all until there is utterly and absolutely nothing more that remains. So now go and continue to fight and resist if you must. Let your beast scream in defiance, for it will only prolong the inevitable, because no matter how fiercely you struggle here against us, Garlock says, and no matter how intensely you attempt to battle in gaining control, you will never overcome what stands before you, for the power of the demon realm is not something that can be resisted, but instead it is rather something that solely consumes. To which moreover, when then having to go back to the demon Leviathan and seeing as to how he was beginning to squeeze Lord Beerus within his vice grip, was when the demon Leviathan then went on to utter, I am going to go on and crush you into an oblivion in the name of our venerable ruler and supreme god king Lord Raigen, with Beerus then having to quickly respond, alright, now that does it, for I have had enough of this, all of this along with all of you. Each and every single one of you have done enough in crossing that line, and so now I will begin to show you the true power that lies deep within a god of destruction, a power in which you cannot possibly go on to hope to rival, and the power that will be what ultimately decides your fate. For I have had enough of you demons, and it's time to go and settle the score here between us. As you and your kind have done enough in getting in my way for one day, and since you are willing to go and perish in the name of having to submit yourselves to your ruler Raigen, then let this now go and be the price that you will have to go and pay for ever daring to go and challenge my authority, Ultra Instinct Beerus then went on to quickly respond. And then so you are to go and know your place among the hierarchy of the gods, for this will be the price that you will have to pay for your rebellion. Hakai, Beerus shouts, to which it was only within these very moments as the giant Leviathan was attempting to strike Beerus as he was now beginning to fade within the wind, was when Beerus then went on to quickly observe this by responding, good, now feel the wrath of a god as you slowly disappear and fade into the wind like the animal that you are, foolish beast. for this is what you get, but I can now start to slowly see on how you creatures are beginning to operate, Beerus continues, and it's because of having you plunge the multiverse into darkness the way you did by webbing each universe together with the demon realm was exactly how you were able to go and remain in the positions of power that you currently are, as it is starting to become more and more evident based on the way I am watching those Saiyans fight out there that they won't be able to last much longer out there if this continues, and it's not because they are weaker or simply lack the power to go and destroy those Dark Masters and demons all on their own, Beerus continues, but it's simply due to the fact that those demons are definitely feeding off something, for I should have expected such things, Beerus continues, as the Dark Masters aren't just fighters in this regard, but they're manipulators of magic and playing this battle like a game.
Unfortunately, we're down 2 players, but it is what it is. At least we found a match. Well, we got all the keys, but unfortunately, we're down some players, so it's not looking good. I can hear the sound just fine on the live stream. I turn your volume up. This guy's dead. If one more person dies, then the escape time machine's gonna show up. That's game. No beacon, bro. I just left me. Alright, we're trying to get out of this game, bro. Could have just let us go. There was no point in killing me, bro. Just waste my time. On to the next. We gotta wait 37 seconds. Fuck that.
In bending the rules to suit them within their favor, because why go and rely on your own strength when you can simply go and leech from an entirely different dimension of cursed energy to go and try to stay ahead, Beerus says. And so I doubt that they don't already know this as well, given the fight that they are currently in, which is why I believe that I may in fact know of a way on how to close this gap between us here while we still have the chance. However, Beerus continues, the fools seem to be too stubborn for their own good to see it, for they are trying to go and fight these demons head on and having to assume by thinking that brute strength is the only answer when it is not, at least not for the time being, especially when our enemies have an infinite source of power in backing them. And so the longer this battle drags on, the stronger these monsters will ultimately become, and for every moment they stall, that bottomless energy will just continue to go and fuel them, which is why we must go and hurry and change our approach to this battle before they go and find a way to run us all down in the meantime. To which, as Goku was then shown having to address Vegeta back to back, was when Goku then went on to respond, "Oh darn it, Vegeta, this isn't working because no matter how many times we go and try to knock them down, they somehow go and find a way to stand back up as if nothing even happened. And what's more," Goku continues, "is the fact that they also seem to be feeding off something as well. And so now because of this, it doesn't seem as though we are losing because they are stronger than us," Goku continues, "but we only appear to be losing because they've got an endless supply of power that's backing them up, and so we've got to go and come up with another plan and fast. Otherwise, they'll simply go and wear us all down if this keeps going. But if we can go and figure out on how to disrupt the flow of order and block the path that they are siphoning energy through," Goku says, "then we won't just be able to go and find a way to weaken them, but we can go as far as to beat them as well. And so I know that we can do this," with Vegeta responding, "Damn these demons. You don't think I see it too, Kakarot? For they are nothing more than parasites leeching off of the demon realm itself and using its essence and energy to fuel themselves during our battle. But I think I may know of a way on how to cut that connection between them in order for it to give us a fighting chance in beating these demons. But severing that link isn't going to be easy, which is why I will need for you to go and listen to me, and listen to me very closely, as we will only go and have one chance at trying this, because if we are to fail," Vegeta continues, "then we can simply go and kiss our chances at defeating them goodbye. And so even though they may have the numbers advantage along with the direct line to the demon realm for now, I may know of a way on how to go and change that, but you'll have to go and try to buy me some time in order to ensure that this works within our favor. While I'm not really sure on what to go and make of this strategy of yours that you have in mind here, Vegeta, however, if there is one thing that I am certain of here, it's that we'll need to go and stick together if they go and try to attack us, so that way we can go and maximize our efforts in using more of a team-based approach rather than simply go and use a single-based approach instead. But you say that you were able to go and sense it then too, don't you? For I was right to have went and picked up on the fact that they are constantly shifting back and forth by using the demon realm itself as a means of an energy source of some kind. But what exactly is your plan here, Vegeta? Because I know that you are up to something, as I can feel it within your spirit. And so now what exactly do you have in mind here? Because you better go and make it fast before these two are given the chance to go and try to to attack us, with Vegeta responding, well, aside from sticking and moving as a unit and making sure that these two don't try and zap us both out of whatever power we have left wide open on the surface out here against them, I have been looking into and studying their ancient techniques along with reading into how to channel and use the Demon Realm's very own dark energy against its native creatures, but the idea itself might end up taking me a minute or two to successfully go and pull this off in time, and so I'll need for you to go and stand by and watch my back in the meantime while I go and try to attempt this and having to pull this off with succession, Kakarots. Because you and I both know that we cannot continue to allow for these demons to go and jump in and out between our worlds like this, and so the longer they are given the opportunity to breathe, will it only make matters worse for us in the long run if they don't wind up coming back even stronger than how they are right now, with the Dark Master Jogo then having to address the Saiyans by responding, and just what exactly could the two of you possibly be whispering about over there? Because unless it just so happens to involve anything other than having you both accept your demise in the name of Lord Raijin, then there is nothing that the two of you could possibly hope to come up with over there that will actually go and work against us here, and you know it, Saiyans. And so now go ahead and get any last words that either one of you may have for the other out of the way, because this is where we draw the line in battle against you both, and as we look to hereby go and put an end to your struggles, so that way we may go and finally honor Lord Right. But then, it was only from within those very moments now, out of nowhere, with the Angel Whis being shown having to finally make his re-entry and having to step on in and having to be shown kicking Jogo away, was when the Angel Whis went on to further address Jogo by then responding, that's quite enough, for you and your kind have went and caused too much damage as it is, and since both you along with your armies have now officially blurred the lines between the Demon Realm and the very multiverse itself through your twisted and vile corruption over them, the laws in which just so happen to prohibit and bind us angels has now officially been lifted, which only now means that you will also be dealing with me here now in battle as well, creature, with the wounded Gohan being shown lifting his head by responding, I knew that he would go and be here, and just in time to go and help us even the playing field out here against those monsters too. And what better timing in having you finally arrive here and helping us, Whis, with Whis being shown having to address Goku and Vegeta by responding, my apologies for not being able to go and arrive any sooner than I just was, but I must go and give you all fair warning that the situation involving these demons is unfortunately now far worse than it was ever shown having to be before just a few hours ago, and so we are to all go and engage and do what we must in order to carry out our plans in fighting to defend the multiverse at all costs before it is too late, and this means in also having us angels enact our duties in breaking our code once more for the sake of doing what is right. And so now that I am here, Whis continues, I return to you all with enough confidence to say that if we don't go and take care of these creatures and are to allow for them to somehow escape, Whis adds, then I'm afraid that we will fall victim to their ultimate plan, which is why we are here to stand together in finishing this before we are to go and reach the point of no return, with Gira having to then chime in, damn that angel, and just where the heck did he just go and spawn in like this from out of nowhere from? For our plans are now under serious danger, especially with Whis being here to defend these mortals alongside his god of destruction, and so we will go and need to be able to come up with an entirely new plan before it is too late. Wait a second, and just what exactly is he holding over there within his hand, Gira questions, for could that truly go and be as to what I think that it might be? Because if it just so happens to be one of those 3 cubes that Lord Raijin is looking for, then, oh, but of course, for we must go and warn Lord Raijin of its current whereabouts immediately. Curse these angel attendees and their blind loyalty in wanting to go and defend these mortal rodents, Jogo adds, for we mustn't now go and leave this up to chance and fight this angel, since even with our combined efforts, we still wouldn't go and come close in being any sort of match against them, and so we must leave this for Lord Raijin to go and handle, since he is by and large far more powerful than any of these angels, and so we must retreat and retreat now, as we are not fully prepared yet in having to go and face off against the angels without having Lord Raijin here present with us in the meantime, and so now hurry and let us all fall back within the Demon Realm in assembling more warriors to go and join us us, along with siphoning off more power to go and feed us before we are to go and return in facing such dangers. But then, it was only just from out of nowhere now on the battlefield right next to Mekimyro, as an unknown vortex was then beginning to swirl under Garlock and having to pull him down, was when the elite demon Mekimyro then went on to further respond. Yes, of course, hurry now, us too then, Garlock, for it would be wise for us to go and avoid conflict against any of these known angel warriors before further actions could be shown being carried out by said angels. And so now, wait a second, and just what is that? This sudden and strange whirlpool of dark and twisted energy. Is that yours, Garlock? For what is that? With the surprised Garlock being shown responding, I do not know on what this sudden vortex of dark energy is or where it came from, but this doesn't appear to come from the demon realm here either, and so I can't seem to push back against it, Garlock continues, for it appears to be attempting to try and drag me down beneath its depths, and so I can't seem to be able to use my power along with my magic to try and fight back against it, as I am unable to move and do anything to escape Mekimyro, as its influence appears to also stem from a place that only seems to go very far beyond our own demon realm now here too. And just what do you mean by having to sense this rift being something that goes far beyond the demon realm, Garlock? Mekimyro went on to then further question, and as you should hurry and go and fight your way out of it and break free from this strange vortex and help me complete the mission at hand right now, with Garlock responding, I can't. The force of this strange vortex is making it very difficult for me to respond to its pull, and while I cannot attempt to fight back against it, nor could I go and find a way on how to break myself free, I can't move, with Gira then having to chime in, and just where in the world did that sudden and unknown vortex just spawn from? For its energy signature is unlike anything that I have ever witnessed before aside from Lord Raijin's very own inner nature itself, but how and where does it lead? Gira went on to then further question, as these worms from the 7th couldn't have possibly conjured up such a sudden and unknown bottomless pit like this from out of nowhere now, did they? With Garlock continuing, as the very place of wherever this vortex is seemingly having to take me is unknown, I can't do anything about it to go and break free. And so help me, Dark Lords, help me, as I do not seem to know on where this plans on taking me, as the source of its very signal seems to also be unknown. And so now please do not allow for this unknown vortex to go and take me, Dark Lords. Help me before it's too late. But then it was only just upon with Garlock having to plead for anyone to save him as he suddenly went vanishing down beneath the ground was when Mekimyro then went on to respond, but I don't understand on how this could be. Oh damn it, he's gone, Dark Lords, for I cannot go and detect Garlock's energy signature anywhere. And as with these Saiyans now finding themselves and having to be assisted by that rotten angel Whis and having to go and try to gain the upper hand here against us, unless we are to somehow go and find a way to go and get rid of that rotten angel, then we cannot possibly hope to win like this without the aid of Lord Raijin here to help us, with Jogo responding, oh, this is just bad, because if we would have went and known that Universe 7's angel would go and show his face as quickly as he just did, then we would have simply had went and ended this long before his arrival, as we should have been more careful in having to first finish these creatures off before he went and had arrived here. For we are to ensure that our legion can still remain within the realms of our control, and so we are hereby left with no other choice than to do what we must, Jogo continues, since the tide here between us with that angel having to suddenly arrive here has now shifted within the mortals' favor drastically. And because of this, we must be smart with how and what we choose to go and do now moving forward, especially with Whis here and having to further aid them in battle. And so now hurry, Gira! Hurry while there is still a chance for us to go and retreat, for we must hurry back and forge a new plan of attack while we still can, whilst also informing Lord Raijin about the current situation at hand. And so now let's go! Oh, hold on, wait wait for me as well, Lord Jogo, Zoro went on to then quickly shout, for you mustn't go and take off without me and having to leave me behind to go and deal with these creatures all by myself now, and so wait. But then, it was just within the nick of time as Beast Gohan went as far as to get in the way and having to kick Zoro down onto the ground was when Gohan then went on to further shout, oh no you don't, especially not after everything it was that you had just said. Am I going to go and allow for you to go and simply run away here, demon? And then so you better go and brace yourself for the inevitable fast, cause I'm not going to go and let you out of my sights until you go and pay for everything it was that you had said and done to me, demon. I must go and hurry because whatever happens with the other demons, Gira continues, will not go unpunished by the time we are to go and make our return with Lord Raijin here to go and help us, for this is the only other way that we will be able to safeguard our agenda, and further having to go and make sure that we are all strong enough and with greater numbers and having to go and come back here again. And so wait, the portal, it's blocked, Gira questions, but how could that possibly be, as none of my dimensional portals was ever shown having to block my entry point in or around and having to use it? And so now how could this possibly be? For there appears to be another energy source that has blocked me from traveling through our dimensions, but who could have done this? Wait, unless with Primal Blue Evolution Vegeta being shown having to address Gira by then responding, and just where exactly do you think you're going in a hurry there, demon? Trying to go and run back to your little world of shadows again, just like the rest of your Twisted Legion now, are you? Well, not this time you won't, because I know all about your secret little dark techniques that you've been using in channeling the essence of the very demon realm itself like some kind of a power grid to amplify your power. And since I was also able to read more into how you demons tend to operate in drawing upon the demon realm itself in order to further amplify your magic along with your own power, I was able to go and craft up a little dark technique of my very own by using my very own power along with the power of an aid to go and further fuel my energy, as well as also being able to go and tap into the demon realm's essence myself. And since I am now able to fully understand on just how cunning and just how tricky you demons can truly be by secretly using outside energy to further strengthen your resolve here against us, without it you are hereby left helpless before having to rely on your Dark King and ever hoping to go and stand a chance in coming close enough to actually go and destroy us. And while the concept of your magic along with your secret dark techniques are still very foreign to me by nature, Vegeta continues, it'll only be a
Appreciate everyone who's still watching. Match took forever, but hopefully we get a W.
I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Everyone's mad.
Where am I?
I think that the guy's internet's lagging.
Thanks. Flying Nimbus!
found another power key. Use it quick. Great. You know what to do with that key. Flying Nimbus!
Fucking wall here, bro. I can't move.
That's a new power key. Place it now. Hey, great! You found another
We
power
found all the
key.
keys, but
Use it quick.
I'm still level 1. Fortunately. A few more cubes. I'll get my level 2.
Welcome. Thank you. Close.
Have to plant these last 2 keys and then beat him up at the time machine.
The startup system for the super time machine is ready. Head there now.
Flying Nimbus!
Flying Nimbus!
Get this party started.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
Stands no chance, bro. Just beating his ass off.
You're done!
Man got beat the fuck up. Yo. Reminds me of high school days. We used to jump people, dog. This guy got beat up. And there's no chance, bro. Just blood everywhere. KO. Robbed everything. You're done for. KO, dog. Holy smokes. This guy got demolished. Rip. Shoes taken, everything. Hat taken, shirt taken, pants taken, socks taken. Bro. Just jumped, dog. Holy. It's going on YouTube in the morning, bro. I gotta make a YouTube short out of that. KO. The next.
matter of time before I go and find a way to go and turn your own dimension of existence against you. And since you haven't went and figured it all out by now, I want you to go and take a little bit of a closer look, Gira. For not only am I currently forging and using my very own energy along with drawing upon the Demon Realm's essence and having to use it now against you, but I want you to go and take a look on down and having a little bit of a closer look below you and having to go and see the secondary source of energy that I am currently being fueled by, which you don't hope to ever go and stand a chance in having a counter against. To which it was only surprisingly enough now from below as Ultra Instinct Beerus was shown being the one responsible and further having to amplify Vegeta's energy and stopping Gira in her place was when Beerus went on to further respond, "That's right, demon, or did you really think that I was truly going to allow for you little worms to honestly go and get the best of us without going and having me and my mortals come prepared for your arrival just in case you went and actually had made it?" Beerus questions. And as I went and tried to warn you fools that this wasn't going to end well for you, and well, was I wrong? With a desperate Gira being shown attempting to open yet another portal by them responding, "No, no, 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 I cannot be forced in being trapped within this universe alone while having to deal with these creatures all by myself. And so there must be a way for me to go and break through. There just has to be, and I won't stop until I find it." But then, it was just from out of nowhere now before Gira, as Whis went on to make his presence known by teleporting directly in front of her, was when Whis went on to then quickly respond, "And I'm afraid that you will not be so quick to go and leave this universe, especially not after all of the damage that you and your fellow demons have caused throughout the multiverse, which is unfortunately why you must be held accountable for having you go and pay for your actions here, Dark Lord." But then, it was only just from out of nowhere with Ultra Instinct Goku shown having to make his way in doing onto Gira the exact same way as to how Gira had done onto Goku and he was left trapped and having to battle against the demons within the Demon Realm prior, was when Goku then went on to further address Gira by responding, "And while I tried warning you several times over and having to remind you that this wasn't going to end well if you continued to go down this path and waging war against us, let me go and be the first now to go and pay you back, since I'm sure that you don't seem to like it very much when the numbers along with the odds here are seemingly stacked against you, just like it was when you had went and stacked them all against me within the Demon Realm," Goku continues. "And on top of it all, just as a way to go and pay you back, this one's for Kibi along with every other demon that you had went and forced to fight on your behalf that went against their own will, Gira. Oh, curse them, as I cannot seem to be able to bypass Vegeta's counterattack in breaking his seal in order to go and make my way back into the Demon Realm, and without my ability to go and do so, then I'll be helpless to go and try to make a difference out here against these creatures, which is why I must go and try to find my way back, and fast," the damaged Gira went on to then say to herself, "as we should have been more careful in having to go and reconsider on what these worms would go and be capable of in using out here against us, but we weren't, and for good enough reason too, as I must hurry and try and regroup alongside with the other Dark Masters, and further go and call upon our Legion and having them all come here while we go and summon Lord Raijin to help us, since these little worms have went and had figured out on how to sever our siphoning connection, which we can't." But then, it was only from within these very moments now itself from behind Gira, as Ultra Instinct Goku made his way in and having to kick Gira directly towards Beerus, was when Goku then went on to respond, "And just so I can go and give you a reminder here, because this one is for going and using my DNA and creating a Shadow Demon variant of me and having me go and pay you back for getting in the way of my fight against it." "That's right now, right this way," Beerus went on to proceed by sticking his arm out by responding, "for you and your kind were allowed to go and sliver through the cracks of this universe for far too long, demon. And it's due to the fact of all of the damage that you have went and caused within my universe, is it only fitting for someone like myself to go and be the one to deliver you."
it now.
Fight kill. You get a large cube. Nah. Shit, I think he saw me.
Flying Nimbus! Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help.
Out of all people, he had to go down. He already died once. We don't want this guy to get to level 4. Time controllers, do we?
Stay calm. Stay
It's
calm.
helping me. Where is everyone?
If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies. Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done. You're done! Somebody's down! Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Like, you shoot the go-go gum, this shit doesn't fucking work, bro.
Supplies to help. Make good use of them.
What we did not want happening.
Well then, let's begin.
To rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Saving.
Your final judgment upon having to foolishly go and challenge my authority, demon. As it was clear to me since the very beginning that you demons weren't looking for a fair conflict here between us, but instead, you had been looking for something more. And now that we have discovered an opening in figuring out of a way to go and slow you demons down and expose your weaknesses for all to see, this is exactly where the game will end up changing within our favor here between us, demon. For I want all of those who stand alongside you to go and bear witness to what is about to go and happen to you, because what will end up following shortly after you are dealt with here will be exactly what they will all have coming shortly after as well. And so now here's a direct message that I want you to go and pass down onto your cowardly leader, in further having to remind him, Beerus continues, of the consequences that will follow when you dare go and cross a god of destruction, demon. So now feel the full force of a power the likes of which you and your kind could only ever dream of obtaining, Dark Lord. Then so now here's a parting gift for you to always go and remember us by. Hakai, Beerus shouts, in which lo and behold, this was now it, because with the Dark Master Gira now having to be shown being vaporized by the hands of none other than Ultra Instinct Beerus, was when Beerus then went on to further continue. It's a painful way to go now, isn't it, Demon? Well, good, because let this go and serve as being a reminder that without your ability to go and draw upon the Demon Realm's power, and without your leader to go and keep you safe and protecting you when you find yourselves in knocking on death's front door, you will always and forever be known as being nothing more than mere foot soldiers to a far greater being, and a punching bag to any god of destruction who goes and finds themselves in having to face off against you. And so now this is what you get for not only having your pathetic little minions go and ruin my day when they came here earlier, but for also thinking that you can waltz into my domain and expect to go and boss me around without having me go and have something to say about it, Demon. And so now that she's gone, which one of you is the next to go? As a prideful Vegeta then went on to quickly respond, well, would you go and look at that, for it would seem as though that these Dark Masters aren't truly as invincible as they assumed for themselves to be after all then. And now that we know of a counter method in having to close these demons in and back them all into a corner by limiting their ability in accessing the Demon Realm as a means of fueling themselves, it'll only be a matter of time now before they wind up joining that Gira in the afterlife, and they know it. Isn't that right, Whis? With Whis responding, well, be that as it may for now, I can't help but sense something that is rapidly beginning to approach our location, but I can't quite seem to put my finger on making out as to what this could be, as an angry beast Gohan was then shown having to address Zaru by responding, and I agree with Vegeta, because would you go and take a look at that? And so what exactly was it that you went on to mention to me earlier, Demon? Oh, that's right, Gohan continues. Something about how we wouldn't have been able to go and find a way to beat you demons, isn't that right? Well, so much for that then, because look at how the tables have turned on you now, Demon. And now that Whis is here to stand alongside us, along with having to help cut your ties to the Demon Realm directly and preventing you from using its energy to power and fuel you, it's time that you monsters go and get a taste of your own medicine, because now it's our turn to go and show you on what exactly we are fully capable of, Demon. As with our heroes now seemingly in full control with only one elite demon left, with Beast Gohan being shown having to face him, was when Beast Gohan then went on to quickly respond, "Whoa, don't go crawling back in cowardice now after everything it was that you had said to me out here, Demon, because you should already know, if you had even went and done your research on us here within the 7th, that we weren't going to go and be pushed around, nor are we going to be beaten that easily in a battle here against you," Gohan says. And since you can't seem but need to want to learn the hard way, then the hard way you will ultimately end up learning, Gohan continues, since we tend to play by the same rules that you demons play by in order for us to go and call things evenly out here against you, and because of this, you should go and come to terms with the fact that this struggle that you had went and tried to wage here against us is over for you. As Goku then went on to respond, "Good going on having to go and destroy that Dark Master before she was given the chance to flee, Lord Beerus. And since we can now understand on what exactly it is that we are going to have to go and try to do to bring these Dark Masters and their elite demons down, we should continue to incorporate the same strategy that we just used against that demon Gira, and if we simply hope to go and stay in the clear in not having either of us fall to one of them during this battle," with Beerus being shown having to then respond, "Well, so as long as neither one of you Saiyans ends up getting in my way upon having to destroy them, let alone in being shown having to go and fight them all on your own the way you just did, but instead rather go and stick and move as a unit together, then we will be just fine, so as long as you don't go and mess things up for us even more than what you already have, Goku," with Vegeta then being shown having to respond, "Good, that's the way. Not so tough now without having your precious Dark Masters running around and barking out orders now, is it?" Vegeta questions. "Or it's almost like you have went and doubled our ability to truly make a comeback here against you, whilst assuming that you had us all figured out, when in reality reality, you didn't. And so now go and finish that coward off and be done with him for good down there, Gohan, with Beast Gohan having to then respond. And as I just want you to know here and now that you and your kind had done enough damage in having to show us on just how dangerous you demons can truly be when given the right amount of time to follow through with your plans. And since I will no longer stand idly by and having to watch as any of this continues for the sake of both my family alongside my friends, I cannot go and allow for you and your kind to continue to threaten the ones that I love, Gohan continues, because the longer we allow for this to go and continue, then the greater the
I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
That civilian, but you got him first.
You found a power key. Go slot it.
I'm an android, you see, and you can call me by my name, Cell.
Large cube would be nice. At least have my level 1.
I guess I'm far too strong for a weakling such as yourself.
I hate this map, bro. It's so stupid.
That's a new power key.
Someone found the
Place
key.
it now. Great. You know what to do
Someone
with
found
that
that
key.
key. I have to see if I can find a key there. Like dual sense batteries low.
You bore me. Are we done playing around?
Thanks.
Will you take a look at this?
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Welcome. Thank you.
Cube to get my level 2. There we go. Destroying E, it looks like. To B, see if I can find that key.
Will you take a look at this? Another moron who doesn't know their place.
Fortunate.
Just give up already.
Here comes the pain.
guys.
Time machine is ready. Head there now.
Did I shake him or
It
what?
was gone the wrong way, bro.
An ally needs your help.
I owe you one.
Danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Fortunately, I lost my dragon change. Oh, dragon radar.
I'll send some supplies to help. Make good use of them.
Holy hell.
Gallic gun!
Over Q. That's close.
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Let him get him.
Ally down. Watch out for enemies.
Here comes a pain. Let's go. Fly.
There's all our shots, man. Like one more hit and we got him.
An ally needs your help.
Yeah, I have a flash of rage, so I'm gonna go in real quick.
Oh, come on.
Here we go. Oh no. Good job.
No one does this to me.
I'll stay alive.
the odds will end up being in having us go and lose everything that we've been fighting to protect. And so, because of this very fact, this here between us finally ends now. And so better you than our friends and family, since you had went and brought this onto yourself, demon. And so now just go and do yourself a favor and close your eyes if you need to, because this ends here and now once and for all. And so now say goodbye. But then it was only just within that very moment, as Gohan let out a blast with his very own energy attack now being shown being redirected, was when Gohan then went on to continue. Wait, what the? My blast? What did you just do? Gohan shouts. Whoa, hey, watch it, Goku then went on to quickly shout. And just where in the world is that thing going? Unless... no, with Beerus then having to then quickly chime in. Oh, something's pulling that energy blast away from that demon, which could only mean one thing, since we had went and seen something similar to this happen before when that demon had been taken away moments before I had destroyed him. But then, it was only shockingly enough now from out of nowhere within this very moment, as Raiden's hand was shown having to appear from a wormhole in stopping and preventing Gohan's attack from having to destroy Zaru, was when Raiden went on to quickly address Universe 7 by responding. So this is where the epicenter of defiance, along with the resistance that I've been sensing, has been festering from. Now, is it? Because now that I have already claimed 2 of the 3 configuration cubes that I seek, Raiden continues, I can sense the final piece having to resonate from within this very world, and while you have attempted to go and hide it well, it wasn't ever going to be kept hidden well enough for me to go and not come to find it, Raiden says. For I did not come here to negotiate, nor did I come here to simply parlay with any of you creatures, but to simply retrieve what belongs to me by any means necessary. And if that means that I will go and need to burn everything down within this universe in order for me to go and have it, then I won't go on to waste a single moment in having to do it if it means getting what I am after, even if it's at your own expense, Raiden continues. And so now heed my words and listen very closely to what it is that I'm about to go and say to you, because unlike how it was shown in having to be before, I will not go on to fail a second time in fulfilling my destiny, whether it just so happens to come at the expense of both mortals, gods, and demons alike, Raiden continues. And as I will go and tear away at what I must in order to have what it is that I seek, and since you and your universe refuse to accept the circumstances that have already set themselves into motion with, you may have went and done away and have found for a method to go and destroy one of my Dark Masters, but now that I am here, and now that I am aware of the troublesome issues that you and your universe appear to be causing for me and my legion, this here will be as far as I will allow for any of you to go, because from this moment onwards, Raiden continues, I am going to be the one who will be dictating and controlling the outcome of what our battles and how they will be waged here within this universe, creatures. And as you may have went and found a way in being lucky enough to have wiped away with Gira, but I, on the other hand, will not be so easy to go and deal with as she just was, and so this is where your struggle ends. As Beerus went on to then look on by then quickly responding, wait a minute now, hold on, is that really the